their key players into the game. Messi with Di Maria on that right-hand side, up against Upamecano, and Hernandez could be the key battle.
Well, 29 days ago, this Winter World Cup was underway, and now here we are, match 64, and what a final it is in prospect. Messi against Mbappe, a footballing oasis in the desert, and it is certainly a real din being created by a mass of jumping Argentinian supporters in the end away towards our left. I think it's fair to say they're excited.
It is, and just looking at the Argentine setup, Di Maria started on that left-hand side. I think we all thought he was going to start on the right-hand side, and De Paul will be the one helping out Molina and doubling up on Mbappe. He'll play narrow off the right.
So Argentina are playing from left to right as we look here in the banks of the media tribune in this very impressive stadium in the city of Lusail, 9 miles north of Doha. And the other thing to say as well is that this will be the highest attendance for a World Cup final since 1994, when there are over 94,000 watching Brazil against Italy in the United States. It's going to take some time to settle down. Back to Emi Martinez, all in green. He clears it away. Theo Hernandez controls the ball. Rabiot plays it out towards Hernandez on this near side. And now back to Upamecano as De Paul just running into Rabiot. And the referee quickly, Polish referee Marciniak, wanting to stamp that out. Just a little nudge in the back there from De Paul on Rabiot.
A bit of a silly shove from De Paul. The position he's playing is going to have to engage Mbappe on numerous occasions and help out Molina. So what he won't want is an early, cheap booking.
Just a little wag of the index finger from the bald referee. And quite clearly the message was to cut it out as Argentina take a throw on the left-hand side. McAllister to Messi, central area, plays the ball left-footed out towards Di Maria. Di Maria hooks over the cross on the volley. Messi waits, Rabiot with a header away. De Paul back towards Messi, to De Paul outside the area, scoops the ball forward. Alvarez is there, flags up. It was a late flag.
That's a good call. Just straight a yard offside. Was expecting the ball from De Paul a little bit quicker. Just timed his run so that it was a fraction too early from Alvarez. But it's bright. They're getting Messi on the ball, getting him in and around the penalty area.
Argentina have scored first in all 6 of their World Cup matches here in Qatar. Hugo Lloris, all in yellow, away towards our right-hand side, strikes it away downfield. Giroud with a flick header. Griezmann was also there, brought under control and then played back towards Romero, lifts it long into the centre circle. Towering header from Upamecano, but he's come through the back of Messi, says the Polish referee. Free kick to Argentina.
That's slightly harsh. That is a straight ball clipped up, and Upamecano is always going to beat Messi in the air. He does catch him. I think Didier Deschamps is overly pleased with that decision.
It's a World Cup record for Lionel Messi. His 26th appearance at a World Cup for what is likely to be his 5th and final World Cup finals. Beating the record set by Lothar Matthäus. And in those previous 25, 11 goals and 8 assists. As Argentina attack on that far side, the left. Di Maria trying to come in between 2 French players. Koundé and Dembele out of play. It will go for a throw. Tagliafico will take it quickly, looking for it to settle. Mbappe comes into the central area to get the ball back for the dark shirts of France. Theo Hernandez has given it away, straight towards Messi, lays it off. De Paul driving forward, McAllister making the run through the middle ahead of him. He went out wide towards the left, towards Di Maria, and Koundé will clear. France are giving the ball away. They've made another error here. Shot comes in from distance. That was a real pile driver as well from McAllister. But Lloris, with his body behind the ball, made a comfortable save.
That's a nervy start from France, number of mistakes. Lloris straight into the midriff, grateful for the catch, but France has got to get a foot on the ball, get a hold of it, get a feel of it, get into the game.
Just as a reminder, this is live on BBC One. You can watch and listen through World Cup Extra on the iPlayer to listen to the 5 Live commentary if you so wish. We have Chris Sutton and Rob Green with us here in Lusail. 0-0. The ball is played back. Just need to settle it, don't they? The reigning champions do look nervy.
Yes, they do. It was Griezmann who's had such a good tournament, carelessly giving the ball away just outside his own 18-yard box, which allowed the shot from McAllister, but just trying to get a foothold now, France, in the game, make a few passes.
What is interesting is that Argentina, this is their 5th match that they've played here in Lusail. Saudi Arabia and Mexico in the group stages, Netherlands and Croatia in the knockout stages. This is the first visit to Lusail for France here in this World Cup final. 6 minutes played. Dembele, right-hand side, back with Koundé. Now to Varane, one of the players who's recovered from illness. Another one is Upamecano as the 2 central defenders exchange passes just outside the centre circle. Varane now with Upamecano. Lionel Scaloni is out in that technical area. Back with Varane, not really going anywhere at the moment. If anything, they're being forced slightly backwards here, France. As Messi just runs towards Upamecano and he passes the ball out wide. Tagliafico with interception before it could reach Dembele. Griezmann now takes over. Tchouaméni runs through the centre circle on the halfway line. Alvarez, who was in pursuit, is just pulled back at the arm of Rabiot, and it gives away a free kick. Rob?
Yeah, it's interesting that France, when they get the ball, Theo Hernandez, as we know, he's likely to go up high. They revert to a flat back 3 almost, and that lends itself to Argentina pressing man for man, and they're not moving the ball quick enough to cause Argentina problems.
In the midfield, now with Messi for Argentina, threads a lovely ball through towards McAllister. McAllister has Di Maria ahead of him, streaking away on the left-hand side. Alvarez waits, De Paul just on the edge of the area. Held up, there is Di Maria on the left, McAllister back inside. This is Fernandez, short diagonal ball cut out by Griezmann. It'll break to Alvarez, ever alert, lays it up towards Di Maria, left-hand side of the penalty area, with the cutback, edge of the area, to De Paul. De Paul with a shot, takes a deflection off the legs of Varane, and behind it goes for a corner kick, 0-0.
Yeah, really positive start from Argentina. Di Maria causing problems on that left-hand side, pulls the cross back to De Paul, who's got 20 yards out, who hammers a shot. It was actually going well wide, off Varane's left shin and behind. The corner to Argentina.
Argentina have made the better start. We've been playing for 8 minutes. Messi waits, just adjusts the ball in the quadrant down below. Corner kick on this near side the right for Argentina, playing from left to right. Messi delivers it low, cleared by Griezmann at the near post. De Paul plays it back out towards Messi, controls it first time, looks to try and run at Griezmann. They doubled up on him. Mbappe was helping out Griezmann. De Paul now will send over an arcing cross. Plenty of navy shirts are back there. It goes high in the air. Rabiot goes to ground. Lloris can't get on the end of it. Referee's blown his whistle. There was a foul on Lloris, who's down.
Now, I'm not a goalkeeping expert. We've got Rob who is, but as that ball goes up in the air initially, the Rabiot header, I think Lloris has to come for that.
Rob? It's a really difficult one going up in the night sky. It's swirling around, and you're looking and you're thinking, can I catch it? As you've told him to do in the past, just catch it, Lloris. I think it's such a high ball and there's so many bodies, he can't make that clean claim. He then gets caught by Romero. I think that's his case in point.
Just like the supporters, it's been a lively start from the Argentinian players, Chris Sutton.
Oh, it has been. The team on the front foot. Worrying for Didier Deschamps. Lloris down. Took one in the ribs from his Tottenham teammate.
Just interesting that he's touched on it before, Chris, that how Argentina have set up. We thought that Di Maria'd start on the right. He's very, very high, very, very wide on the left. And they're looking for him early. And a big switch to get out there. And from there, you're then saying get bodies around it, and that's what they've done well.
Has to be concerned though here for Hugo Lloris. Romero it was who caught him.
I think in fairness to Romero, as the ball goes up in the air, Upamecano shoves Romero, who then flies into Lloris. The longer he's down, he's sitting up now, which is an encouraging sign.
Lengthy stoppage though for the French captain. Started 5 of the 6 games out here in Qatar. Excellent against England and Morocco. Interesting that he kept 3 clean sheets in 6 when they won the World Cup 4 years ago in Russia. He's only kept the 1 clean sheet so far, but at least he looks able to continue.
Goalkeepers have gone soft, haven't they? Staying down from a challenge like that.
Do you want to respond to that, Rob?
It's not nice getting a dig in the ribs in any sense.
He's all right after a lengthy stoppage here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Lloris clears it long downfield, left-footed. Giroud tries to get on the end of it. Headed away by Tagliafico, the left-back for Argentina. Rabiot with a ponytail heads it forward. Griezmann tries to win it back. There was De Paul. McAllister turns out towards Di Maria, far side the left. Tagliafico plays the ball back, and Argentina will go all the way back to their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. The first Aston Villa player to appear in a World Cup final. Ball sent forward by Fernandez. Alvarez will give chase. Varane tidies up towards Lloris, clears it away first time left-footed. 12 minutes played, still goalless here in Lusail. De Paul. Molina not had chance to get forward so far on this right-hand side, the right-back. Di Maria controls the ball left-hand side, pulls it back. Cut out by Tchouaméni, almost reached Messi. Still they attack. De Paul, Messi's on the stretch. And then cleared away. Alvarez charges it down from Theo Hernandez's attempted clearance. That's what he gives you, Alvarez. It's not just his goal threat and his pace, his work rate. We've seen it in the quarter-final and the semi-final. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, well, the Argentina team have started with great intensity. Doesn't give the French defenders a moment's peace there, and that run just moments before that, he'll do that all evening, stretch that French backline. That allows Messi to come into those little spaces that are created to get on the ball and do his thing.
Here is Varane, midway through his own half. France are in all navy, playing from right to left. This is 5 Live and it's still 0-0. Koundé to Dembele, quickly closed down. Dembele though will wriggle free. Plays the ball to Theo Hernandez, now with Mbappe. Mbappe left corner of the area. First real chance we've had of Mbappe in this game so far. To Rabiot, the return ball, Mbappe's pace tries to get in there. But the anticipation from Emi Martinez, he was quick to accelerate off his line, and he goes down to ground and makes a smothering save.
He's quick, he's not that quick. Martinez, once it gets beyond the defender Molina, he knows he's got that time to come out. But all of a sudden, the intensity of the game just raised once Mbappe got the ball.
At the back, cleared away by Romero. Alvarez and Messi exchange a couple of headers. It will run through to McAllister, who quickly sprays it out towards the left. Di Maria is attacking on that far side, coming in field now towards Messi. Messi on the edge of the area, tries to play the return ball towards Di Maria, coming back from an offside position, surely, yes he was. And that will be a free kick to France.
We just wondered there, Messi 25 yards out, whether he was going to get a shot off himself, but he saw the run of Di Maria. Unfortunately for Argentina, Messi just proceeded to pass the ball straight to Koundé.
Been playing for nearly a quarter of an hour. Argentina against France. The backdrop of 50,000 Argentinians in this World Cup final. It will sound slightly different on Tuesday night for the first of 3 successive nights of League Cup action for you on 5 Live when we're at MK Dons against Leicester City. That's for next week, as our live football will continue. Wherever you can go though, always remember BBC Sounds is the place to take 5 Live with you. But here we are in Lusail. And it's with Fernandez out towards Molina, the attack-minded right back, who plays it now towards Romero. Otamendi carries the ball over the halfway line out towards Di Maria. Tagliafico. Fernandez left of the centre circle. And Fernandez just linking up the play with the central defenders as Romero takes over. Indeed, Fernandez now drops in between the two central defenders as the fullbacks are pushed on. And as Tagliafico makes a run in field, Di Maria drops just over the halfway line on that left-hand side. And at a walking pace, Argentina are controlling this game. And then Molina tries to make that darting run forward, but the ambitious ball is too far ahead of him, and it goes out for a France throw. Rob Green.
Yeah, it's interesting. Griezmann's the comfort blanket for France when they haven't got the ball. When they want to go and press and risk it a little bit, he steps up out the line. There, they realise they haven't quite got the game right yet. They haven't tactically got this right yet. So he dropped a lot deeper into midfield and said, right, you got to play around us. The game slows down, they win the ball back and get a little bit of control again.
When they last met at a World Cup in Kazan 4 years ago, it was the last 16. There'd already been a goal at this stage. It was a Griezmann penalty as the loose ball is picked up by Argentina. Messi to the ball back towards Messi. It'll fall to Di Maria, and he skied it just inside the penalty area. Central position, right-footed, couldn't keep it down. Goal kick, 0-0.
No, once again, sloppy play. This time from Hernandez, the French left-back, and as the ball is fed in field, well, Messi picks the ball up and pops it out to the right-hand side. De Paul feeds a cross in. Di Maria on his weaker right footed just bobbles up slightly. Was he 16 yards out centrally? It's a really poor connection, well over the bar, but I think Scaloni will be happy with this start from his Argentinian team.
He's playing on the wrong side, isn't he? Should have been coming on his left.
Rob Green and Chris Sutton with us. 17 minutes played. We're still awaiting the goal. Indeed, you were in that game in Kazan, weren't you, when France won by 4 goals to 3?
In the cooking pot in Kazan, and talk about that Griezmann penalty. That came from a run from Mbappe, the length of the field to win the penalty, but he's barely had a kick so far.
From the cooking pot in Kazan to the cauldron of noise in Lusail. Here is Mbappe, near side, the left for France, back to Hernandez, goes further back to Upamecano, goes square across the back now towards Varane. Varane, right of the centre circle, approaches the halfway line. Koundé plays it forward, Dembele now links up with Koundé, but the return ball, Dembele will get there with his pace. Although the Argentinian support behind that goal thought that it actually gone out of play. We're too far away to tell. France have got a throw, right-hand side. But we've hardly seen much of France as an attacking force in these opening 18 minutes as Koundé goes back to Varane, almost midway through the Argentinian half. Now with Upamecano. To this near side now to Theo Hernandez. Here's Mbappe. Flicks the ball forward. Hernandez goes to ground. Referee will give the free kick. Free kick to France in a very dangerous position, about 6 yards up from the byline, left of the penalty area.
Yeah, I think he's better going forward, Hernandez, than he is defensively. And he just draws the foul from Romero, the right centre-half for Argentina, comes out and brings him down. Clever little touch to get past him, and now this is an opportunity for France. Griezmann wanders over, that wonderful left foot.
The French tricolours are flying away towards our right, but our eyes are cast to the left because that's where Griezmann has placed the ball down. Argentina have everybody back inside their own penalty area. It's Griezmann, left-footed, dinks it towards the far post, and it was Olivier Giroud who threw himself at that 6 yards out and couldn't keep it down, and it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, free kick awarded anyway. I don't think Giroud does a lot wrong there. Gets above his defender, jumps early. That's the key. We saw the issues that the Argentinian centre-halves had with the Dutch. Giroud, a specialist in the air, which cause Romero and Otamendi all sorts of problems if he gets the right service.
He's become, in this tournament, the all-time top scorer for France, and he was looking for what actually would have taken him level with Mbappe and Messi on 5 goals in order to try and maybe win the Golden Boot here in Qatar. 20 minutes played, still 0-0. What have you made of the opening 20 minutes, Rob Green?
Well, I think that chance just sums up France, doesn't it? They don't play well. They don't look like they've got their game together. Then all of a sudden, they pop up, 2 passes, a good free kick and an opportunity for Giroud. It's just how France play.
Here is Messi, collecting the ball midway through the France half. Molina is the outlet on the right-hand side. Back with De Paul. France have everybody back behind the ball. Now it is with Otamendi. Fernandes closed down by Griezmann. Romero inside the centre circle as it goes back. De Paul on the halfway line, plays it forward. Fernandes is able to turn, runs through towards McAllister. They play it out towards the left, quickly feeding it towards Di Maria. Di Maria cuts inside. Di Maria's done well. Di Maria goes down, and the referee gives a penalty. Bundled over from behind. And you know what this means? That Lionel Messi will have the opportunity to give Argentina the lead.
Yes, it's brilliant play on the byline from Di Maria. Shapes across the ball in left-footed, and he drives inside Dembele, and there is contact from Dembele. It's a clumsy challenge from him. We know Di Maria doesn't need a second invitation to go down. He goes down.
It'll be checked by Tomasz Kwiatkowski, the Polish VAR.
Well, it won't get overturned because he's got the wrong side of him and he makes contact. It's so soft from a France point of view. Dembele sells himself out wide and then just makes the faintest of contacts. Di Maria looked up, knew that there was no options in the penalty area and was like, please, just make contact. I'm going to go down, and he duly obliged.
Lionel Messi's already scored 3 penalties. He did, of course, miss against Poland, but he's only missed on 4 occasions in his international career out of 28 attempts. Lionel Messi, for what would be his 6th goal of this tournament, runs up now, left-footed, and scores! The little man for the big occasion! And Lionel Messi is absolutely swamped by his teammates. We all know what the missing piece is in his illustrious career, and he has got the breakthrough goal. And Argentina lead France by a goal to 0. He was never going to miss. 1-0.
Listen to this noise. You're right, he was never going to miss. Just slows his run up down a little bit. Lloris goes to his right-hand side with Messi, is watching him all the way, just pops it in the other corner. Cool as you like, the coolest man inside the stadium. Great start for Argentina. France have work to do.
We are midway through the first half. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And to take you through to half-time, here's our correspondent, John Murray.
Well, thanks, Ian. And Lionel Messi now crosses the halfway line, having just scored in a World Cup final. He's just done something that Diego Maradona did not do. And as he walked back from the celebrations, the frenzied celebrations down close to the corner flag, he just raised his fist and punched the air. And Argentina have the edge over France. Argentina on the back foot now, but the noise inside the Lusail Stadium here, all around us. Here's Mbappe, slips the ball into the penalty area, but he doesn't find a teammate. And now Argentina break again. Alvarez, and then a backheel flick from McAllister knocks it back down into the left-back position, where Tagliafico plays it out of play off the man who conceded the penalty, Dembele. So Lionel Messi scores his 97th international goal, and that is his 12th at World Cups, which means that he now moves alongside Pelé in terms of the total number of goals scored at World Cup finals tournaments. Everything he does, there is a milestone attached to it, but what he really wants is that golden trophy in his hands. And with that penalty, he's put Argentina in pole position. Rob Green.
Yeah, well, the way that they've started and how poor France have been realistically in this opening quarter of the game, there's an opportunity for more. We saw against Croatia that they almost ran away with the game once the crowd got up, once they got lifted. Croatia couldn't respond. France have got to up it now because this could run away.
They've been the better team, now they have the lead. Argentina looking to win the World Cup for the first time since 1986. And France, though, winning the ball back. Here's Giroud, but Giroud quite strongly challenged. He was by the Argentine defender, came in at pace. Giroud went down Chris Sutton. France have a free kick in a good position.
Yeah, it's about, 30 yards out. Romero, strong challenge into the back of Giroud. I mean, what the Argentinian goal might do and should do, you'd think, is liven this French team up a little bit. They have been way off the pace this opening 26 minutes.
Well, it is a free kick after Romero's challenge, so that was Tottenham on the former Arsenal and Chelsea man, Giroud. Free kick, Griezmann's going to take it, but referee Marciniak says, hang on a minute, hang on, blows his whistle because there's been a collision on the edge of the box. Giroud is trying to help up the player who went down, who was Enzo Fernandez, and Enzo Fernandez wasn't for the hand of friendship there, Chris, as it was offered by Giroud very gallantly.
Well, there's not going to be too many hands of friendship. It's a coming together. Giroud catches Fernandez, who stoops down. Giroud catches him with his forearm.
And he's still at him, Giroud, now, as Griezmann will take it, left-footed into the penalty area, but that's effectively headed away. Then nodded back over the top by Theo Hernandez. He was caught late, I think. In fact, he's adjudged to have committed the foul, Theo Hernandez, and it's the Argentine player who's down, and the referee's immediately called for the medical people to come on because it was a clash of heads. Between, well, Messi, it's not a clash of heads. He's been caught on the side of his shoulder, I would say.
Theo Hernandez is guilty of winning a header, and that's it. It's an incredible decision. I would take a punt that if that wasn't Messi going down, the referee wouldn't have given a free kick to Argentina.
And what a position the free kick would have been in for France. But you can't give free kicks against Lionel Messi.
Free kick given to Argentina. Argentina lead France by 1-0 in this FIFA World Cup final here in Doha on actually what feels like quite a cool evening. And it feels like there's a breeze blowing around the ground, but that's the air conditioning inside this stadium. It's actually a very pleasant evening outside. I'm not even sure they would necessarily need to have switched it on, but the temperatures are cool inside. But this World Cup final is warming up, and certainly that moment, that Lionel Messi goal-scoring moment, even though it's from the penalty spot, that's what all of these Argentina fans were dreaming of when they came here. Hugo Lloris sent the wrong way, Rob.
Yep, it's an awful one for a goalkeeper. Just the pause, the wait, and the look, and you know as soon as he looks at you, any inkling, any flinch, he's going the other way.
Here he is now, Messi down the right-hand side, but in comes the challenge from Theo Hernandez to block it behind for another corner to Argentina. Almost half an hour played. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well via BBC Sounds. There's still time to take the World Cup with you on BBC Sounds, and we're also across Africa on the World Service. And it is a corner. Lionel Messi way down in the corner, a little bearded figure, those shorts that come right down to his knees, left-footed into the near post, and it's headed away. Giroud actually in between two Argentinians, and then the offside flag is up as Messi takes the ball under control, and it's a free kick to France in their own left-back position. Argentina 1, France 0. Chris Sutton.
Yes, really good defending from Giroud. Good ball in from Messi. Left-footed in swinger. Giroud good in the air in both boxes.
So it is a free kick for France. Lionel Messi, incidentally, as well, becomes the first man to score in a World Cup final for Argentina since 1986, since they last won it. The last goal was scored by Jorge Burruchaga, who scored the third goal when they won 3-2 against the then West Germany. That was Diego Maradona's team. As I say, he didn't score in that final. It was Lothar Matthäus who was looking after him, but all of his teammates stepped up and Argentina won it, and they're winning this one. And here's Di Maria with a cross from the left-hand side, but he's put far too much on that, and it's out of play for a throw-in in the left-back position. That was the wild card selection, if you want to call it that, from Lionel Scaloni, who, see Di Maria over there, puts his hands on his head in anguish, but he brought him in to start, and he started him on the left-hand side and Messi on the right.
Yeah, and it's a full ball in, but what it does do is make the pitch a lot bigger for Argentina, him holding out wide. Then they've got the options to find other players, and France haven't come up with an answer yet.
No, they haven't. And it is Argentina in the famous blue and white striped shirts, white shorts, white socks, who have the ball, and it's played back into central defence. And Otamendi and Romero are there. Nicolas Otamendi, the former Manchester City man, tonight, incidentally, winning his 100th cap in the World Cup final. Doesn't get much better than that, particularly if you go on to win it. And they are 1-0 up. And here is De Paul on the right-hand side, the joker in the pack, they call it. Plays it back to Messi. Messi now through the middle. Alvarez is there. Back to Messi. This is middle of the half. Messi turns away from Griezmann. And now, with his right foot, clips the ball out. Di Maria's going to do well to reach that. The ball bounced up. The assistant says he did manage to get it under control before it bounced over the line. Back it comes to McAllister. The Brighton man's made a very good start to this game, I must say. Here he is again on the left-hand side. The first Brighton and Hove Albion player to play in a World Cup final. And it's come back to him, but he rather snatched at the shot. And it's bounced out of play way over here on the right-hand side for a throw into France. Chris Sutton.
A bit of a commentator's curse there, John, as the ball came back to him, 25 yards out, left-hand side of the box. Slashes the ball out wildly for a throw-in on the far side of the pitch.
We're all guilty of that at one time or another, as you may know. Chris, by the way, will be hosting 606 tonight, a Doha Salford edition of 606. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton taking your calls. Here's Messi. Messi now just outside the area, moving from right to left. Upamecano went with him and put in the challenge, went to ground. He had to make it, he did. Good tackle from Upamecano. Now it's back with Argentina again. De Paul on the right-hand side. Right-footed cross to the back post. Koundé heads that out to the edge of the area, and Dembele is able to flick it further away. France just can't get out. And Argentina, having taken the lead, they are right on top. They've not taken the foot off the accelerator pedal since they took the lead. Here's McAllister again, but a heavy touch from him under pressure from Tchouaméni, and it's out for a throw into France.
Yeah, McAllister has had a really good start to this game, making some good forward runs there on that inside left, with Di Maria just hanging out on the touchline and causing problems. All the talk before the game about Messi and Mbappe's barely touched the ball.
Yeah, we've just seen really the odd glimpse of what Kylian Mbappe might be able to do. If it was a contest between Messi and Mbappe, then it is Messi who's winning that one.
Well, France have got it all to do. They're just smashing the ball anywhere. There's no control in there. Moments ago, they had their throwing in their own half, and within 2 passes, Messi was taking a shot on goal, and it's just from their own throw-ins. It's basic stuff for France at the moment. They just can't get it right. They're looking around. Tchouaméni doesn't know where he should be playing. Griezmann's having to drop in to help him out, and in turn, they just can't get out their own half.
Argentina 1, France 0, with just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. And it is Argentina with the ball. Here is De Paul with those socks disappearing around his calves. Back into central defence, and then De Paul takes it again. He's got no one in a deep blue shirt anywhere near him, so he gives it to Messi to his right. Why wouldn't you? Messi clips it left-footed right across field to Di Maria with those 2 wristbands on. Di Maria now back to Messi just outside the area. Rabiot put in the challenge, and that meant it bounced away back towards Fernandes, closer to the halfway line. Fernandes receives it again. Benfica man, another hot property. Benfica, who've made this unbeaten start to the season. That's where Otamendi's playing now. So 2 Benfica players in this Argentine side. and it goes back into the centre circle. Argentina dominating possession as well as everything else, and actually it goes all the way back to the Aston Villa man Martinez, who's barely been tested yet, and they're knocking the ball around with some confidence. Argentina,
they're looking so comfortable, and they've got space. They've got, well, John, you've done it again.
Yes, as the ball was played to the right-hand side to Molino, hit with some pace. Now Mbappe takes on the right-sided defender Romero, went past him, but the cover was there and Argentina were able to clear it. Scaloni urging his team on from the edge of the coaching area as Upamecano put in the challenge, but Argentina running rings around France, and Alvarez plays it forward, and McAllister hits it across, and Di Maria is there! 2-0 Argentina! France lost it on the halfway line, and Argentina were absolutely ruthless. And it's Di Maria, the man for the big occasion, the man Scaloni brought back in for the final, who gives his team a 2-0 lead before half-time. Argentina 2, the holders France 0.
Absolutely ruthless, Argentina there. There was a ball helped onto Messi, and 2 quick touches, picks the ball up left-footed outside of the left boot, and then McAllister's away, makes a forward run, and on the right-hand side of the box, could have taken a shot on himself, but had the awareness, had the composure to find Di Maria, and weights the ball perfectly. It allows Di Maria to just move onto the ball seamlessly. And he actually, I think he chokes the ball down into the floor over Lloris, maybe gets a little bit lucky. Otherwise, that's absolutely genius from Di Maria. But Argentina are blowing this French team away.
It's brilliant, counter-attacking one-touch football, and it is a brilliant finish. It's Mesut Ozil-esque, playing back in the Arsenal days where he deliberately bumps it into the ground and over the Lloris. Complete wave of blue and white to our left, to in front of us, just went up. That's the comfort that they needed. That's the one that they've deserved from this first half, because France have not thrown a punch.
2-0 to Argentina in the 2022 World Cup final, and all of these Argentine supporters who've come here in their thousands. They reckon 50,000 Argentina fans are here in Doha, in Qatar, to witness this, what they hope would be their first World Cup triumph since 1986. And with this scoreline, it looks very possible that it will be. The holders have got an awful lot to do from here.
Well, I'm baffled by Deschamps that it's 37 minutes into the game and he's not changed it. We're sat up here, everyone can see it, it's just not working. What they're doing isn't working. It needs to change. They're sleepwalking their way to defeat. They could have already lost it by now.
And what a scene we have. Down to our left, behind the goal that Emi Martinez is defending. What a scene, blue and white of Argentina. So many of them on their feet. They couldn't sit down for this. And they are singing, they're cheering, they're waving their flags. And at the front of that section as well, so many blue and white Argentina flags, and so many images of the face as well of Diego Maradona. And now the ball is played up for France, but in steps Romero, and Argentina will come forward again, and it's played for Messi, and Messi up against Upamecano, who was rather caught out incidentally for the second goal. Upamecano dived in on the halfway line, was caught out of position. France were all over the place, and Argentina really took advantage of the space.
No, he's the one who gave it away as well. It's desperation just to win it back, and you knew as soon as he'd got that, they were away, and it's whether they could be clinical, and they were.
Argentina 2, France 0, half-time approaching. And the world champions, France, are going to have to pull something truly dramatic out to turn this around. Messi, still plenty of time though. Messi, inside his own half, just taps the ball back into central defence, and Otamendi gives it out to the left-hand side. And it looks as though France are going to make a change. Marcus Thuram is being called forward by Didier Deschamps, the son of his old teammate Lilian Thuram, and that change is going to be made before half-time. You said it, the two of you, that he had to be proactive. He had to do something, Didier Deschamps, and he's not going to wait until half-time. And it looks as though it's going to be a double change he's going to make. So desperate times calling for desperate measures for the World Cup holders. Argentina in possession. Argentina with it on the right-hand side. Molina, but then Tchouameni is able to hook it forward, but there's no one there in a dark blue shirt. Giroud will chase it, but it's played forward by Romero. And now Molina again to De Paul, who will go back into central defence. So a double change, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, Thuram came on and he'll play off the left-hand side, so it looks...
Fouled by Koundé on the far side.
It looks as if Mbappe will go and play centre forward, and Mouani, the goal scorer, came off the bench to score against Morocco. He'll go on the right-hand side, so it looks like Dembele will be the one to make way, and Olivier Giroud, I think.
Yep, that's right. It is. The number 9, the red number 9 is up. So Giroud and Dembele off before half-time in the World Cup final. What a disappointment. And for Olivier Giroud at 36, you know, he'll almost certainly never get an opportunity like this again, and he's not lasted the first half. And 4 goals at this World Cup, such a totem for them as well when they won 4 years ago, and that's it, his night's over, ruthless.
Remarkable decision that, taking off the all-time leading goal scorer when the one thing that you do need is goals.
Just watching there was a little acknowledgement between Deschamps and Giroud, and France have been so flat. I mean, listen, we've talked as well over the last few days about this virus that has run through the French squad. I think you have to consider whether that is a factor in what we're witnessing here, because they have been so flat. But then again, this is not completely out of keeping with the way that they've played at this World Cup. Argentina have just dominated them. So a double change, and Thuram and Kolo Muani have come on, and Mbappe is now playing through the middle. But a free kick has been conceded by the French for a foul over there on the far side, so it's a free kick to the team that lead by 2 goals to 0. So 2 of the most experienced men in world football have scored the goals. Lionel Messi from the penalty spot with the opener, so he now leads the top scoring standings, 6 goals at this World Cup. So Messi scoring the opening goal as he wins his 172nd cap, and Angel Di Maria as he wins his 130th. And it is Argentina who are backed by this deafening chorus from their supporters. Di Maria on the left-hand side. Di Maria taking on Koundé, bounces off the French right back, who's just able to get to it and play it forward. But Kolo Muani is caught in possession, but the tackle actually causes the ball to run back over the dead ball line, and it is a goal kick to France. Rob.
Yeah, well, you're looking at France now, and you're looking at whether they've changed shape a great deal. And it's Thuram who's holding higher on the left-hand side. But realistically, they've got 2 minutes to get through to half-time, and Deschamps will have to have the team talk of his life to get anything, any semblance out of this.
So Argentina looking good, playing the ball out, and it bounces off Alvarez. Tchouameni, that's a nice piece of footwork from him, gives it to Rabiot, but Argentina are tigerish, and De Paul is into the tackle on Thuram, and the ball's deflected out of play for a throw-in that Theo Hernandez is going to take to Tchouameni. I mean, their tails are up, they're confident, they're not allowing France to settle on the ball, and it really looks from the position that they're in here that there is that absolute hunger here not to give France a sniff, not to give them a glimmer, and the French have been forced back halfway into their own half. Here is Varane, who will carry the ball forward towards the halfway line. He was one of the players who was doubtful because of that virus. Upamecano as well, coming back into the team. Konate is among the substitutes, incidentally, as the ball is played forward through the middle to Mbappe, and the challenge that came in on him from Romero just caught him. Referee Marciniak gives the free kick, France as well.
He's playing on the edge, Romero. Tottenham fans won't be surprised by me saying that, but that's about 3 or 4 in this half that he's been a little bit reckless and gone in a little bit rash, and fortunate not to get booked so far.
Free kick taken by France. We're in the last minute of the first half. 5 Live on the World Service from the BBC. Listen as well on BBC Sounds. Ball played through to Mbappe, but in comes the challenge. And Argentina have got it again, but it's given away. This is centrally with Muani. But in comes the challenge this time. Again from Romero, comes back at the Argentine defence. That's cleared away by Molina. And there's Messi, halfway inside his own half. Just working the ball back to Molina on the right-hand side. Molina turns it infield. Thuram was there as well. Fourth official way down below just flashes the number on the electronic board. Now we can see it's 7 minutes of added time. Not sure what we've seen in the first half particularly merits 7 minutes. Of course, we had the stoppage for Lloris.
Yeah, Lloris was down for a while, wasn't he? But
just actually a couple at the other end as well.
Yeah, just defensively, Argentina defending with so much greater intensity. That battle in the middle of the park, Argentina really dominant there.
As the ball is played over the top down the left-hand side. I think what we heard there was Angel Di Maria screaming for a free kick as he went down.
I think
it was either that or one of those children's toys.
It was the scream of the thought of having to run another 50 yards after 45 minutes of football.
Koundé with the challenge, and Di Maria went down. As Chris suggested, sometimes he goes down when there's not an awful lot wrong with him, but he's been pivotal, hasn't he? He's won the penalty and he scored the second goal. Di Maria having been brought back in by the coach Lionel Scaloni, and he's watching on. He's been there right on the edge of the coaching area the full time. Tracksuit manager, tracksuit bottoms, trainers on, watching the ball being played forward, which deflects out to Mbappe, who has actually come out to the left hand side, looks for Thuram. The long legs of Marcus Thuram, takes it on down the line, tries to work it back, but there are 3 Argentine players, and then there's a high foot from Theo Hernandez onto Paul, who went straight down. Referee will come across. I think that's a final warning for Theo Hernandez, who actually throws the ball away in disgust as he's sent on his way by the referee. Free kick Argentina. They lead 2-0. They've absolutely dominated the first half of this World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't half defend ferociously, don't they? They fight, they scrap, they harry.
They do everything ferociously, Chris.
They absolutely do, but...
Do you listen to them sing the national anthem? Ferocious.
Well, passionate. Is there a difference, John? A little bit?
Passion bordering on ferocity.
But they've been the dominant team, haven't they? They've outfought, outworked, outthought the French team. And as Rob said, Didier Deschamps has made a couple of changes already, but you're going to have a drastic turnaround at half-time to try and somehow get back into this game.
It's going to have to be transformational, what they do in this match, to turn this around from 2-0 down in a World Cup final when they have just been bossed, as they say. Here is Molina playing it through. There's every chance Argentina might get another one before half-time. It's played through for Alvarez, but Varane comes across and puts it out of play. And it's a throw-in for Argentina down the right-hand side. Argentina, who, don't forget, are the reigning South American champions, winning that last year. That was Messi's first senior international title, and how that was celebrated, winning it as they did in the Maracanã against Brazil, and then beat the European champions Italy in that one-off finalissima earlier this year, and now they're dominating the world champions, the World Cup holders, France. And at the moment, it looks as though it is going to be Argentina, not France, who will get that 3rd star on their shirts. Ball is with Otamendi at the back. You might have thought that his days in the big time were finished when he left Manchester City, 34 years old now, but as I say, Benfica doing great things, and here he is on the verge of winning a World Cup. France coming forward. We've had almost 4 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. And it's Varane in the orange boots who looks forward but goes square. They look bereft, France. They look short on ideas. Thuram tries to dance in field, but they're there again, those ferocious Argentines. 2 men on him. In dives Molina with a challenge, gets a bit of the ball, got a bit of the man as well. He won't worry about that. And then France take the throw-in back to Upamecano and across to Varane in the centre circle, who plays it across to Koundé. Koundé looks up. Griezmann's another one. We talked about him before the game. maybe the player of the World Cup. He's not featured in the final now.
Anonymous, and that's France's performance in total. It's been anonymous and just bereft of ideas, and really they're making it up as they go along now. The shape's gone, the team's gone, the pattern of play's gone. They're just looking at someone saying, please turn up.
Argentina are leading France by 2-0. And the ball's out of play for a throw-in on the far side. And again, what a scene we have here in this stadium. And I know so much has been said and written about the construction of these stadiums, but in terms of a visual sight as you look around it, with all of the gold lettering and gold trimming, and the way that it undulates around the top, those curving lines, and the roof above our heads, it is a fitting scene for a World Cup final, as the throw-in is taken over on the far side by Argentina. It's cleared away on the edge of the box by Upamecano. Comes back for Argentina. Griezmann slides in against Di Maria and is able to get the ball away, and then Koundé puts in the challenge, and that comes off the Frenchman, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Argentina down the left-hand side in the 6th minute of added time at the end of the first half. Messi just knocks it back centrally and all the way back now into the centre circle, where Christian Romero looks up, finds the pass to Di Maria. No, it's over his head and out of play for a throw-in to France, 10 yards inside their own half.
But that's their outball. They've always got that, and they play with the comfort of knowing that.
Kolo Muani now, he's able to dart forward. In come the Argentinians. One of them got a touch on him. It's given us a free kick.
Here we go.
And an Argentine player has dropped to the ground on the far side. I mean, it was played past him by Kolo Muani, and Fernandez has gone down. And it was played past him, whether there was contact there as Kolo Muani was trying to wriggle away through. Shows an awful lot on that. He went down, Kolo Muani won the free kick, and then Fernandez went down, and he's not got up yet. And referee Marciniak has not allowed the physios onto the field, although I think as he does that, it's a yellow card for him, for Fernandez, for putting in the challenge.
It should have been Otamendi who was booked. I thought he was the one who made the challenge, but then Fernandez, embarrassing from him. I think he was claiming he was struck by Muani. He's up on his feet now, but that's shocking from him.
Free kick then. Well, this is our chance for France to try and pull something out of the fire. Griezmann plays it in all the way towards the back post, but Varane couldn't get there. It was well beyond him, and it's all the way through for a goal kick. Of course, in this sort of position now, there is no Olivier Giroud having been substituted. Didier Deschamps feeling that he had to make that double change in the 41st minute, just because of the way that the whole thing was running away from the holders. Dembele and Giroud off, the half-time whistle goes. What a half of World Cup final football for Argentina, who are actually surrounding the referee. Martinez, the goalkeeper, has gone there, and his teammates have ushered him away, and actually the referee says to him, just go on, off you go to the dressing room. And it will be an extremely satisfied Argentina dressing room at half-time. They lead through the Lionel Messi penalty, and that goal from Angel Di Maria, the blistering counter-attack. And it really, you think, can there possibly be a way back for France?
The only hope that you're looking at now is that Didier Deschamps turned around and was like, we can't play any worse, just go for it. One goal, we saw what happened against the Netherlands with Argentina. With this backing, it might get nervous, but they just look so comfortable, and France have looked so short of ideas. It's been a walk in the park for them.
Thank you, Rob Green. Thank you, Chris Sutton. Half-time here in Lusail. Argentina 2, France 0.
Chris Sutton, Statman's tweeted to say Di Maria going in at left wing has been a masterclass from Scaloni, first manager to properly target Koundé. It's not where we were expecting him to play.
No, absolutely. We thought he'd start on that right-hand side. He didn't, and it was a you'd say tactical genius at this moment in time. I think where the half was won for the Argentinians, though, in that central midfield area, they were getting overloads in there. Messi was dropping deep and getting on the half turn. They were trying to feed the ball out to the left to Di Maria. But France have been really outworked. Second balls, the Argentinians have been picking up all the time. And as Rob said, it's been a really flat French performance. I mean, talk about illness in the camp this week, but there's, I mean, maybe that is an excuse, but Argentina have blown them away. And when they lose possession, they've actually gone after the French team as well and pressed them fairly high. But they have been so dominant, and at this moment in time, it's hard to see Argentina letting this game slip.
I mean, the stats, aside from the scoreline, just emphasise how dominant Argentina have been. 59% possession compared to 41% for the French. 6 shots for Argentina, none for the French. 3 of those on target, 3 off target. Nearly 300 passes for Argentina, just over 200 passes for France. Julien Laurent has joined us at half-time. I'm fairly sure that you mouthed, as you came to put your headphones on and take the microphone, "Oh, that was bad," at me.
That was bad, yeah. I don't think they'll be crashing any parties tonight. If we get invited, we'll be lucky to the post-match Argentina party. I mean, I think it was almost perfect from the Argentines, I have to say. I heard what Chris just said. I think they've been so good in everything they've done. They boss the midfield. They win the second balls. They press really well. Alvarez is a machine. They're good on counter-attack on the second goal. They're very good in possession. Of course, it's a mistake by Dembele on the first goal, who should not foul Di Maria. And by the way, we were thinking Di Maria will play on the right. Yeah. He plays on the left and put Koundé to the sword. So well done to Argentina. I mean, Deschamps has never subbed one player, let alone 2 players, so early in a game ever in the 10 years that he's been in charge of this team. And I think when you change 2 players after 40 minutes, there's really something wrong. And I don't know if they can come back in this game. I mean, the Dutch came back, but they look so dominant, Argentina.
France look like they've got no... They look all over the place, actually. They look all over the place without a plan. And actually, on the ball, they are making mistake after mistake after mistake. And I think we all take your point that Argentina have pressed them and they've harried them and haven't given them any time on it. But even towards the end there, the ball was passed back to Varane at one point, and he just let it go under his foot and had to go back 20 yards to go and get it to then restart the move. It's been sloppy.
Very sloppy. I think sloppy is the word. In possession, we saw Griezmann, even at 0-0, even before the penalty, there few balls that in the last 30 yards where it's a bad pass, it's a bad touch, the ball comes again, and it happens in the worst game that it could happen in this tournament. That's the thing, and I think Argentina so forced those mistakes, of course, but you're right, the French just didn't turn up in time, and I think now they can regret it because they could even be 3 or 4 down, to be fair.
They don't have an identity, a style of play, a brand of football. That's the way it looks throughout this tournament. Going into the game, I think we all thought it was going to be, certain moments in this game. I don't think any of us saw one team would dominate as much as they have in this first half, but Argentina are just dictating this whole game so far, and it's difficult to see France actually responding in the second half because they have no defined style, and now the panic has set in. Mbappe is a centre forward, but how are you going to feed him? They can't get the ball to Griezmann, they can't get the ball to Rabiot on the half turn and slide passes in. I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah, you're right. And we said we highlighted Griezmann before the start of the game, and we said that if they have a plan against him and if they can keep him away from the game, then I think they will dominate that midfield, and after that, this is where we can't really react, and that's exactly what happens. But the identity was never, it's not so much a problem of identity. It's before we've been ruthless in that mistake by Dembele on the first goal is a terrible mistake that it should not be made, and they haven't made those mistakes before. On the second goal, Upamecano should let the ball go out. The ball is for us. I don't know why he's trying to control the ball by the touchline and then tries this very difficult pass, and after that the counter-attack is on, and it's an amazing counter-attack, take nothing away from the Argentines, but helped massively by the French again, and how poor they were, even tactically, how they set up on that pitch for the second goal.
Yeah, but France haven't had a shot on
Nothing.
goal. I mean, that's so, you're saying it's not about identity, but it sort of is it in a way, because they don't look like threatening the
yeah, no, what I meant by that is that usually Griezmann is at the heart of everything. The ball goes wide, Theo Hernandez and Kylian on the left hand side, you put crosses in, Dembele, but there's been nothing of that tonight, and I think again this is the wrong time, the worst time to have enough there.
So what are we going to expect from Muani then? Because he's a player who I've not seen so much, but what are they going to get different from Dembele off that side?
Well, the thing is, Chris, he's a centre forward that's playing wide now, which I'm a bit struggling. Giroud, I can understand why you take him off. Dembele, I'm a bit more struggling, unless you thought that mistake just took him out of the game. For Colomani, the pace is going forward. He's going to take on defenders. He's a young kid. He was not supposed to be here. He's only here because of injuries. He was in Japan on holidays when they called him and said, Kunku got injured, please come back. He's here and he will play with that kind of not really thinking and going for it. Same with Marcus Thuram on the other side. I just don't think it's enough right now against a team as dominant and as experienced as this Argentina team.
Micah Richards is also with us. Micah, you thought this one might be feisty, and certainly towards the end of the first half, tempers came a little bit close to bubbling over, but it's been a really flat performance from France, as we've just been discussing with Jules. What did Argentina do right here? And obviously there was the unexpected positioning of Di Maria on the left rather than on the right, and it seems to work for them.
I just think the first goal killed the game. I don't think it was a penalty. I think the majority of you don't think it was. He was already going down, and then Messi goes and scores. Argentina build confidence. They could go in a low block at times and then counter-attack like they did for the second goal. I think the first goal just absolutely killed the game. But in fairness, Argentina in the midfield, we talked about Griezmann. They managed to nullify the space that Griezmann can get on there. He's been trying to drop deep, but what's happened normally with France is they're using Griezmann. Today, everything's going through Messi. Messi is the person who's dictating the flow and the rhythm of the game.
That midfield three, Micah, for Argentina has absolutely dominated it. It's dominated it out of possession, and it's dominated it in possession. Statman sent us the Alexis McAllister first half numbers: 92% pass accuracy, 37 touches, 4 out of 5. I mean, he's put ground jewels 1 tackles to you and me. 1 out of 1 dribble completed, 1 key pass, 1 big chance created. He's run that midfield, really, and Rodrigo de Paul's probably had his best game of the tournament.
It's been brilliant to see, because what they're doing, they're all played in that, and we thought Paredes was going to play. It was a big decision. We have to, I've already mentioned it before, but to bring Di Maria and he's playing on the other side and been outstanding. But what it's allowed the other three is to just hold their positions, and Mbappe can't get in the game. Every time Mbappe gets the ball, De Paul is going over there and blocking the pass into it. Then Fernandes is picking up the pieces and occupying the space where Griezmann would normally get in the ball. And the McAllister's popping up in areas where McAllister's at Brighton. He looks like he's a Real Madrid player. I'm absolutely...
Hang on, whoa. Brighton have played some very, very good football this season.
No. Brighton,
yes, they have.
But no, Brighton played good football for years. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he looks like he's played at a level that the top level for 3 or 4 years. He's been absolutely outrageous.
I think what they've done well there, and what Lionel Messi's done well, is that he stood in front of Theo Hernandez, and just it's taken Rabiot out of the game, that he's had to stand in front and protecting that ball in. And Tchouameni's looked lost in there, hasn't he? Because it's such a hard task against that.
Yeah, completely. And I think Julian Alvarez, who again we mentioned quickly before the game, is doing an amazing job on Tchouameni, cutting those passes, and the runs and the press. I don't know if people can see on television, for them watching on television, but from here, Alvarez is just a machine. He's incredible, and every time someone has the ball, there's not a second before Alvarez comes and presses and hassles him, and it's just fantastic. And he does exactly that on Tchouameni, and I think Tchouameni didn't expect it, and that's the thing again, that we thought maybe Messi and Alvarez would play on their own up front and there would be a bit more time for Tchouameni, but the fact that they play with the front three and Alvarez is clearly sticking on Tchouameni is a big problem for us.
But are we being harsh on Tchouameni? Because he's getting exposed in there, but they're getting outnumbered in there. McAllister made that good run for the goal on the right-hand side, but he's playing quite high up on the left-hand side. Koundé can't come in with McAllister because he has to occupy Di Maria, so that's the French problem. And then Tchouameni's getting dragged.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to be harsh on the newsreader in a minute because we won't get the news in before the second half starts. By the way, just one thing. When Kelly talked about it getting feisty towards the end of the first half, she was actually talking about up here, because that French commentator in front of us, she has stood up for the whole 45 minutes, and Kelly's close to chinning her at the moment. I'll be honest with you.
I'm with you.
She's like our very own Paredes.
I can't see who that is.
Well,
I'll have a
could you-
word.
Thanks, Jules. Merci.
He's spreading vicious and untrue rumours about me. I'll be in touch with HR at the end of this, or HR, as they call it in France. Alexis McAllister is taking up a lot of the conversation this half-time. He becomes the first Brighton player to play at a World Cup final, and Cy Lloyd tweeted to say, "I haven't seen a McAllister with so much freedom at this time of year since Kevin's family decided to spend Christmas in Paris." We'll bring you the second half with Argentina 2-0 up against France in the World Cup final after the BBC News.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Kelly. With the headlines, I'm Stuart Clarkson. A man has been charged with an immigration offence after 4 people died when their dinghy capsized in the English Channel on Wednesday. 19-year-old Ibrahim Abbar is due in court in Folkestone tomorrow. Detectives are still working to identify the victims. A child's body has been found during a search for human remains at a house in Birmingham. Police had been excavating a garden in Handsworth after receiving information about a possible death 2 years ago. A man and a woman in their early 40s have been charged with neglect. The government has rejected the latest calls to increase public sector pay above inflation ahead of more strikes this week. Members of the Royal College of Nursing are due to walk out again in England, Wales and Northern Ireland on Tuesday. Ministers say the 19% pay rise demanded is unaffordable and that they have a duty to keep finances under control. And the head of the Armed Forces, meanwhile, says military personnel should not be regarded as spare capacity for striking workers. The government's confirmed that 1,200 troops and 1,000 civil servants will be drafted in to cover for striking ambulance and border force staff around Christmas.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022, with Mark Chapman and Kelly Cates.
Teams are back out for the second half. Just a couple of other quick bits of news. The FA have confirmed that Gareth Southgate will continue as England manager until after Euro 2024. And Pakistan ended day 2 of the third test on 21 without loss. England earlier scored 354, so they lead by 29 runs. Commentary on Sports Extra from 4:45 tomorrow morning. If you go to the iPlayer, you can find World Cup Extra. You can watch the pictures from BBC One, but listen to our commentary, and you'll be very pleased to know that a diplomatic incident was avoided thanks to the negotiating skills, bizarrely, of Chris Sutton. The commentator in front has indeed, I say, food. Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. About to get underway. Another side has made a change at the start then of this second half, where Argentina are leading by 2-0. And if you recall, when they played the Netherlands in the quarter-finals, that was the first time that Argentina, when they were 2 up and they were pegged back by the Dutch, that was the first time in World Cup history that they'd failed to win. So that gives you the size of the task that faces France here in Lusail. Although, of course, the success to the Dutch was to bring on the big man in Wout Weghorst. And France have taken off their big man in Olivier Giroud with a couple of changes that they made in the first half. But Argentina, well worth a 2-0 lead as Alvarez picks up the ball and runs forward from Messi's pass. It goes out towards De Paul, just outside the penalty area, back towards Alvarez, right corner of the box. Now he goes into a central area, played forward by Fernandez. McAllister was almost there, and Hugo Lloris diving forward, all in yellow. Haven't even had a chance to give you the two teams. Emi Martinez is in goal for Argentina. Molina, Romero, Otamendi, Tagliafico, McAllister, Fernandez, De Paul and Di Maria, Alvarez and Messi. And France have Lloris in goal, Koundé, Upamecano, Varane, Teo Hernandez, Griezmann, Tchouaméni, Rabiot, Mbappé, Thuram and Kolo Muani. Chris Sutton.
Well, I would have thought at half-time Didier Deschamps would have read the French team the riot act and talked about starting fast, and Koundé switched off there. And McAllister nearly got on the end of a Fernandez pass from the central area.
Also with Giroud's departure, it means that the record of Niels Lidholm of Sweden remains intact to become the oldest ever goal scorer in a World Cup final. As Tchouaméni back with Varane, but they've got it all to do, France, and they've got to they've got to really put in a vastly improved display in this second period, Rob Green.
Yeah, we can talk about tactics, you can talk about whatever you want, but they sleepwalked through that first half to a 2-0 deficit. They've just got to wake up, they've got to liven up, they've got to ask a different question. And Mbappe's now demanding it off his players, shouting at his teammates. He's got to get on the ball and get in the game.
Here is Varane to Upamecano. The noise levels haven't changed. We're still surrounded by joyous Argentinians, as a lot of the corporate seats are still yet to be filled over on that far side. But Argentina leading by 2-0, and the second goal as well was just a goal of pure beauty. McAllister to Messi, who just tickled it round the corner to Alvarez. McAllister had continued his run, breaking through, and then unselfishly spread the ball to Di Maria. It was a stunning second goal from Argentina. And early in the second half, here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, or indeed taking up the option that Mark Chapman had said to watch on BBC One and listen to the 5 Live commentary, that is also available to you through World Cup Extra on the iPlayer. But Argentina, in their white and sky blue striped shirts and white shorts, are playing from right to left, and we're 4 minutes into the second half. And it's a direct throw, and now it falls to the feet of around the edge of the area, back towards Lloris, clears it away all in yellow. Tagliafico will get there first before Kolomuani, who tries to get some support from Koundé, battling for every loose ball, but it's Koundé who brings it away and goes inside, but stepping forward was Romero. Excellent defending there towards Messi, and now towards Di Maria, left corner of the area. Di Maria crosses it down into the ground, was De Paul right-footed, saved by Lloris. The next goal's crucial in this game.
Oh, absolutely. If Argentina get it, it's absolutely game over, isn't it? What a spot from Di Maria to De Paul, 16 yards out of the angle, choked his volley into the floor.
Mbappe picks it up, glides forward, helped out by Griezmann. But the desire levels from Argentina, you can see they do not want to give France a sniff of getting back into this game.
No, they must have just heard you, Dano, that next goal being so important. But I'd love to see, as Statman Dave calls them, ground jewels, where they are on the pitch, because majority, nearly all, are in the France half. They're on the front foot, they're stepping forward into the opponent's half, whether they've got the ball or not. It's been so aggressive with and without the ball.
At the Khalifa International Stadium yesterday for the third place playoff, there was a number of players both from Croatia and Morocco that were going down in the end with muscle injuries, just the fatigue factor at the end of what has been a really intense 29-day period. And when you think that Messi was feeling his hamstring in the semi-final, he's still charging around here. No one was going to want to come off this field for the Argentinian cause.
Can you believe we've just had a foul throw from Rabiot, World Cup final? A little bit embarrassing, isn't it?
What you're going to say is better than that.
Yes.
Here is Tagliafico, left-hand side, forward, looking towards McAllister. There is McAllister. What a fine game he's had for Brighton and Hove Albion. For Argentina, the Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder is Mbappe now. But there is Fernandes running back, tracking him every move. The last touch came off Fernandes. He's on a yellow card. Words are just being said there between Romero and Mbappe. The Polish referee is quickly on hand on that. The diplomatic incident might have to be... We might have to go back for a second round of talks, because the French commentators decided to stand up once again as Griezmann with the corner kick on this near side. Griezmann, it's an in-swinger. Good hands from Emi Martinez, Rob.
Beautiful ball for a keeper to take into the path. Nice height, above everyone's head, nice and clear. He can set the ball away straight away. Argentina on the attack.
Argentina with Messi, plays the ball out towards De Paul. De Paul's can't get past the sliding challenge of Theo Hernandez. And it will be, is it a corner or a throw? Over on that far side, in front of the mass hordes of Argentinian support. They're not sitting down. They're standing up, they're cheering, they're jumping. And waving anything that is white or sky blue. It's a throw down by the corner flag. Molina is going to take it. 7 minutes into the second half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds here, and now indeed they do get a corner kick. They've been so superior.
To Paul, he's had a tremendous game so far. He's all action, isn't he? Combative. He's narrow off that right-hand side, I think, there to nullify the threat of Mbappe in that first half, playing off the left, but Mbappe barely saw the ball. Argentina at the start of this second half, or 7-8 minutes in, still the dominant team.
Corner kick then that Messi is going to take in front of his adoring supporters in all areas of the stadium here in Lusail. He moves a little sound mic in preparation to take the corner kick, far side to right, wraps it in low, headed out by Griezmann at that near post, and Messi is ambling to take the throw. They are in no hurry, and in fact he's just going to leave it for somebody else to take. They've got all the time in the world to soak up the atmosphere and soak in a scoreline that means they're heading for what would be a third World Cup triumph and their first since 1986. The throw is eventually taken. Alvarez tries to lay the ball back, cleared away by the French defence, picked up though by Otamendi. Passes the ball back out towards De Paul. De Paul to Emi Martinez. Oh, he sliced it, come right out of his penalty area. He's now screaming at De Paul. He was midway through his own half and it was a complete miss kick, but France were unable to take advantage. Upamecano now in the centre circle. Rabiot takes over. Tchouaméni lays it off to Upamecano. Mbappe's deep and he wants the ball to feet, and here he is. 9 minutes into the second half, closed down by Messi. Breaks towards Tchouaméni. Out towards that far side to left. Theo Hernandez. Back to Tchouaméni, looking for the return ball, cut out by De Paul. That's probably one of the first mistakes, as De Paul was caught by Rabiot, and the Polish referee Marciniak is going for a yellow, and the French midfielder is booked.
Moment of fortune for Martinez in goal. He came a long way. So just a collision in front of him that took his eye off the ball and he sliced it, but when you're 2-0 up, those are the things that go for you. 2-0 down, they go against you.
He was lucky Enzo Fernandez was loitering in the right area. Fernandez, to think he didn't start the first 2 games in this competition. Scaloni got him into the team. And he's playing in that sort of quarterback position as De Paul has stayed down. Really reckless challenge from Rabiot. Don't want to lose him, De Paul.
Well, he had been carrying a bit of a knock. I think it was going into the Netherlands game in the quarter-finals, the Atletico Madrid player. But Enzo Fernandez, who's been linked with Liverpool, as you say, started the last 4 games, has appeared in every game at this tournament, the 21-year-old midfielder, but has really become a key player in that midfield for Argentina, with De Paul and McAllister, and then Di Maria, who's going to retire from the international stage after the World Cup. Scored the winning goal against Brazil in the Copa America, and it's his goal that gives Argentina a cushion. A World Cup, incidentally, that has never been won by winners of the Copa America. That could all change here tonight in Lusail. BBC Radio 5 Live. Argentina, with those first half goals, are 2-0 up. De Paul is fit to continue, as there was a challenge from Tagliafico on Colomouani. He's back to his feet, but they're looking for a spark, and at the minute that spark is not forthcoming.
Well, you look at Argentina, you say we don't have to do anything spectacular at all. We just need to sit tight and not make any mistakes, because, as you say, Donna, they're absolutely void of any form of life, any form of cohesion on the ball, and any form of pressure off it.
It's been the French misconnection. Here is Koundé. Coming forward on this near side, the right. Di Maria goes to ground and slides. Koundé tries to deliver the cross. Closed down though by McAllister. Di Maria keeps the ball in play. Koulibaly now for France, tries to get round the back. Strong challenge that was by Tagliafico. There was no way that he was getting past the left back. And France have got a throw that Koundé wants to take as we approach the hour mark here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Rabiot with his back to goal. Varane being chased and hustled by Alvarez. And Varane was unable to turn and had to go all the way back towards Hugo Lloris, all in yellow, away towards our left-hand side. Mbappe picks it up, but there was 3 white and sky blue striped shirts around Mbappe. Messi's now gone down. That was, I think, Mbappe, his Paris Saint-Germain teammate, and Marciniak, the referee, will just wander to have a word.
But that's the difference, the urgency, the Argentinian players compared to the French players. You mentioned Mbappe. As soon as he gets on the ball, he's surrounded, and it was Messi who eventually pinched the ball off him.
You're looking at France and how they're attacking, and they're doing it as individuals. They're just going, oh, I'll make a run down it. It was Koundé a second ago going down the right. He's just running with the ball on his own. There's no options there to pass. There's no connections between anyone.
Chris Sutton and Rob Green here with our 5 Live coverage. Di Maria to Alvarez, takes it into his stride. Alvarez gets the shot away. And it was a strong arm by Hugo Lloris, low down to his near post. Didn't he do well, Alvarez?
Yeah, darting run from right to left. The angle always against him, running away from goal. 10 yards out. Hits a left-footed shot, Lloris down smartly.
Messi's on course for the Golden Boot. He may well yet win the Golden Ball. But Argentina are just over half an hour away of getting the Golden Trophy, the one that matters most to him, to add to his extremely long list of staggering achievements in his illustrious career. And when John earlier said there was just so many records with Messi, the all-time record appearance holder at World Cups with this tonight, his 26th. He's also the first player to score in the group stages, the round of 16, a quarter-final, a semi-final and a final in a single World Cup. Argentina 2-0 up. Rob Green.
Just looking at what France can do to change this. We're 15 minutes into the second half, and again, still not had a shot. Looking at the bench, Kingsley Coman, maybe. On that, there's not a lot.
Here is Di Maria, twisting, weaving, left-hand side, twists once more, enters the penalty area, left-hand side, it runs through, this is Messi! And he's just put it wide. Right-footed, it was closed down by 2 French defenders. It was a little dummy that enabled it to run through towards Messi. That could have been the goal to seal it.
Oh, they're playing with such swagger, such confidence. Di Maria down that left-hand side, a couple of step-overs, twisting, turning, comes back out, feeds the ball across. De Paul lets the ball run to Messi, and Rabiot does just about enough lunges, puts Messi off for the shot.
Varane heads the ball forward and will actually get a free kick. He was adjudged to have been fouled by Alvarez, the Manchester City player. Varane has actually stayed down 10 yards inside his own half as they continue to trail with no real pressure on the Emi Martinez goal away towards our right-hand side. However, when Argentina led 2-0 against Australia, Australia caused a few late nerves. We know what the Dutch did when they scrambled and salvaged it from 2-0 down to 2-2 in the quarter-final. France may have to resort to similar tactics.
Well, as you touched on at the start of the second half, they've taken off the big man and go direct, ask the question of Romero and Otamendi. They can't. They just cannot throw a punch. They cannot ask a question at the minute. And there's very little to come off the bench now for France, now that they've made the 2 attacking subs.
But talked about they don't have an identity, France, but they haven't really got any fire in the belly. Where's the French fire, Deno?
Well, at the moment, it hasn't even been lit as Rabiot comes forward. And now it's an opportunity for Thuram. To Griezmann, out to Mbappe. Mbappe left-hand side with the cross, headed away.
It was a little bit better, wasn't it? But as the cross came in, Thuram, that centre-forward position, on his heels, needs to make movement.
Marcus Thuram, his father Lilian, first father and son combination to play in a World Cup final. But unlike Lilian, Marcus will not go to home as a World Cup winner, it would seem. Alvarez, forward ball, McAllister was getting there now. Upamecano had tracked the run of McAllister, and there was lent into him, preventing him from getting the shot away.
It wasn't quite the same, but that was a little bit like the Hernandez one on Mason Mount, wasn't it? Was it not as forceful a challenge from Upamecano on McAllister? Another bursting run, this time in a central area, but it's a risk.
It was a risk, but the fact that play is already underway means that VAR would have had a look and they've quickly dismissed it. 63 minutes played. Argentina still lead, 2-0. Rabiot, Tchouaméni, midway through the Argentina half. Diagonal ball, Koundé now is forward, takes it almost underneath his chin, high up on the chest, doesn't keep the ball in play. No, he doesn't. The assistant referee eventually flags it will be a goal kick. It was a risk, but I guess he had to take that risk, Rob.
Well, it's not enough of the contact on the back. It's more on the ribs, on the shoulder. But I think the deciding factor was Lloris was always going to get there first, and when he did so, then it answered the question for the referee.
Angel Di Maria is leaving the stage, and what a career it has been for Argentina. He'll retire after the World Cup. 129 appearances and 28 goals. And as we said earlier, a winning goal against Brazil in the Copa America. Just his third in his 18th appearance in World Cup finals. But it's his goal that gives Argentina a 2-0 lead. And he is replaced by Acuna. That is certainly a measure just to shore up the left-hand side for Argentina. But the gamble to play Di Maria, Rob Green in the first place from Lionel Scaloni has certainly paid off.
Yeah, brilliant decision.
Here is McAllister to Acuna, back with Messi once again. Messi drops his shoulder towards McAllister. The return ball, Messi's got to go the long way around. Back towards Lloris, clears it, and then Tagliafico heads it forward. And then two Argentinian players close down Koundé. Goal kick to France.
Well, that sums it up. That's that in the game there. Argentina linking up around the box. It doesn't work out, but the rebounds, the ball out, they are on it. They are harassing, they're haranguing in and around the French penalty area. France have not been able to do that anywhere on the pitch all game.
Hugo Lloris to take the goal kick. Those Argentinian supporters behind his goal haven't stopped singing since the moment they entered this stadium. A stadium where the attendance will be read out as 88,966. And they're also in a comfortable position, knowing their side are almost 3/4 of the way there, still leading by 2-0. Tired clearance by Molina. Out it goes for a France throw. France at the minute, though, just do not look like scoring. Rabiot. Out to Griezmann. Griezmann delivers the cross, and it was a dangerous ball too from that left-hand side. Kept in play by Kolomuani on this near side, the right. Koundé gives it away. Kolomuani wins it back, challenges Tagliafico. Referee says he got the ball, and then it's dug out by McAllister. That really was a wicked ball, Chris Sutton.
Brilliant from Griezmann. Out on that left-hand touchline. Whipped a ball in left-footed. Thuram and Muani on the heels, didn't gamble, weren't proactive. The ball fizzed across that 6-yard box. No takers for France.
I think Giroud would have been there.
Really, well, we'll never know.
Griezmann Back out towards the left-hand side, another dangerous cross, and it's put out of play by Otamendi for a corner kick. France have that corner on the left-hand side, which Griezmann is going to take. Argentina. Hasn't been too many occasions where those French tricolours have been waving tonight, but they are now. In comes the corner, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. We're midway through the second half. Don't go anywhere, just to savour the atmosphere, even if there are no more goals. It's Argentina 2, France 0, live on 5 Live, and here's our correspondent John Murray.
Thanks, Ian. We might hear from you again if there's extra time, but I doubt it. And France are going to make another double change. If you weren't listening earlier, Didier Deschamps, so serious was the situation for his team. He made a double change in the 41st minute, and now he's going to bring on young Camavinga, the Real Madrid midfielder, or left back as he's been for France here, and also Kingsley Coman is coming on, as Chris suggested he might do, although Coman has been one of the players who was named as struggling with this virus that's been in the French squad this week. So it is Argentina 2, France 0, and we have less than a quarter of this World Cup final here in Qatar to go. And here is Messi playing it back into his own half, and the two Frenchmen are limbering up on the halfway line. I noticed as well that the referee has actually told the Argentine substitutes who are on the bench to calm down. Good luck with that. As France win a free kick 10 yards inside the Argentine half. They were going to make the change there, but they've taken a quick free kick. Everything is so urgent now for France. Theo Hernandez with a cross from the left-hand side, but cleared away by Romero. Unflappable clearance from the Tottenham defender. And Alvarez is dispossessed on the halfway line. France have improved in the second half, but they had to. And now Thuram down the left. Marcus Thuram into the full-back position. Molina puts in the challenge. In comes support as well from De Paul, and the ball's caught up as he goes to ground. And Theo Hernandez was in there, but Argentina have come out with it, and De Paul races forward, but the defender is there to play it all the way back to goalkeeper Lloris. This is 5 Live. We have Rob Green and Chris Sutton with us here in the commentary position in the stadium. Rob.
Yeah, just Argentina levels have dropped, and it's understandable. They've been going for 70 minutes now and put everything on the line. And eventually France have managed to string some passes together, get some bodies forward and get them up together in numbers.
Griezmann's trying to find spaces, but he was so quiet in the first half, but Argentina were just dominant. And they lead through those two first half goals, the Messi penalty and the goal, the counter-attack from Di Maria. France could still be interesting. But Mbappe does so well and shoots right-footed from just inside the box. A dancing run from Mbappe. We've seen so little of that, but the shot was high over the top of the crossbar, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, alarm bells for Argentina. The first time Mbappe off that left-hand side moved out there in this second half, drove on the inside, got on that devastating right foot of his, but just off balance and scooped his shot from 18 yards over the bar.
And that's it for Griezmann. Griezmann's been substituted. So Giroud and Dembele off in the first half, Griezmann off in the second, and Theo Hernandez also makes way. So Camavinga has gone across to play at left back again.
He is not a left back. He is an excellent centre midfielder, a real prospect, but for a man who's had such a fantastic tournament, it's been such a difficult performance tonight, starved of any form of ball, any form of support for Griezmann.
Argentina coming forward, so Coman and Camavinga are on. I suspect in 4 years' time, when we're watching the World Cup, all being well, that Camavinga will be operating in the middle of the French midfield. Here's Messi on the left-hand side. Messi, little steps, still going, turns away from Koundé, gives it back, Fernandez, right foot shot, but too close to Lloris, who was able to quickly step to his left and pat the ball down.
Yeah, I saw him, I was in the stadium. He scored an absolute stonker against Mexico, bent it into the far top corner. from a more central position there, but maybe just got the ball stuck under his right foot a little bit, trying to aim for that far corner, but ended up just clipping it straight at Lloris, who was central.
So what are France doing now then with those changes? Coman is on the right, Rob, and then Thuram has taken up a forward position to the right of Mbappe, and then Kolo Muani's gone over to the left-hand side.
Basically 4-2-4. Get as many players forward as you can and hope that something comes off, because that's all it's been so far is hopeful.
Well, at 2-0, and it's been so comfortable for Argentina, and they've threatened quite regularly to get a third goal in the second half, but it is still 2-0, and we've got just over 15 minutes to play. France get a goal.
Well, Martinez hasn't got his shirt dirty yet. He hasn't had to make a save in any form. So
I've made 2 notes, Rob, for France. The header that Giroud put over early on in the match, which was actually given us a foul against him, which I didn't think was the right decision. And then that Mbappe run in from the left and the shot over the top. That's it. France with Upamecano. Carries the ball forward, takes it on, but then in steps Romero, and Argentina, as France tried to press forward, and he's been fouled, actually, Romero, as the challenge came in on him from Kolo Muani, I think it is, and it's a free kick to Argentina. And sensing Argentina, the fact that France are setting themselves for a bit of an offensive here. Argentina very clever here, just to break things up, slow things down, and slow the game down.
No rush, see it through. I was toddling up, John, because I'm a little bit of an anorak at times, and I've been lonely this week without Ali Bruce Ball. Toddling up shots on the Argentinian goal in this tournament. Only 8 shots on their goal. Martinez has been well protected. There was just that period, wasn't there, in the game against the Netherlands, where the Netherlands played a brutal brand of football, went very direct, put De Jong on and Weghorst on, where they really struggled defensively. Other than that, Martinez has been protected superbly.
Free kick, Martinez to take this downfield. 5 Live from the BBC. Argentina 2, France 0. France come back with it, and here is Mbappe down the left-hand side, trying to use that pace that we know so well. But across comes Romero and just takes the ball off his toe, and Argentina can bring the ball forward with De Paul. And now here's one for Alvarez to chase. And Alvarez is onto this. Defender is there with him, Upamecano. He's forced him out into the full-back position. I thought for a moment there he was going to be past him, but Upamecano did well, actually, and recovered and was able to snuff out that danger.
Yeah, really good defending in the end, but Alvarez was on his own, so even if he had got there first and got clear, it was a tight angle and very, very difficult to make something of it from there.
As Varane passes the ball out of play, and French heads go down again. By the way, if you aren't, like Chris, missing Ali, you'll be able to hear him again very soon, because with this World Cup, this Christmas World Cup, in the middle of the season, if you've been listening to us through the World Cup and have come back to us perhaps, or listened to us for the first time, this is what we do all the time, this sort of thing. So we will have Premier League commentaries coming your way more than anyone else. The FA Cup third round in the new year, the Champions League in February and March, it's all covered here. And Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, Carabao Cup fourth round commentary. So that's the day after tomorrow. MK Dons against Leicester. And actually I noticed Brighton are playing Charlton on Wednesday. Do you think Alexis McAllister is going to be involved in that one?
No better time to play than off a high of winning the World Cup.
As you footballers always tell us, footballers like to play. Here, Argentina playing it forward towards Messi. Messi flicks it on towards De Paul. De Paul now on the right-hand side, but in comes the challenge. There's an effect microphone over there, and De Paul goes down, blood-curdling cry. Camavinga put in the challenge, and the free kick goes Argentina's way. What were you spotting down there, Rob, on this near side?
Kings Coman struggling, limping around, had a discussion with the management team of France, and he's pretty much their last attacking threat that they've had to bring on off the bench.
He was actually got a flick of Alvarez's boot on his knee, and he's leaning over, he's struggling with it. France have already made 4 substitutions. 2-0 Argentina lead. That World Cup is getting closer. De Paul, despite the blood-curdling cry, he's okay, he's back on his feet. And now it's played by Fernandes to Messi on the right-hand side. Now to De Paul inside the box, goes past Upamecano, but the cross, low to the near post, is swallowed up by the man in yellow, the Tottenham goalkeeper, the French captain, who it would seem is not going to captain 2 consecutive World Cup winning teams, Hugo Lloris. Here's McAllister, not thinking about Charlton. Fernandes plays it out to the right-hand side, and Argentina have it back inside their own half. It's steered by Fernandes out to the right-hand side. And the noise from these Argentina supporters is incessant. They've stood all the way. I mean, there are Argentina fans all around the stadium. I must say, by the way, in some of the expensive seats on the far side, I'm not sure people have actually come back since half-time. It's a lot more full than it was now. But for the World Cup final, you know, not to occupy your seats is sinful, really. But Argentina with the ball on the right. Camavinga plays it up towards Mbappe, who flicks it forward. But Otamendi is going to get there. Actually, no, he's not. He's been beaten to it. And Otamendi puts in the challenge, and it's a penalty. Awkward defending from Otamendi. And France have taken advantage. Kolo Muani forced his way into the box, felt the contact, went down, and referee Marciniak points to the penalty spot. Penalty France, lifeline France.
I've got to say, I think it's a soft penalty, but Otamendi just hesitates, allows the ball to bounce. Muani, too strong, too quick, too powerful, gets the other side of him. There's minimal contact. Muani goes down, and from nowhere really, just looking at the French body language a few moments ago, they didn't believe, but what an opportunity this is for France.
We're in the 79th minute. 2-0 to Argentina. But Kylian Mbappe, this is the first penalty France have had at this World Cup. And it's Kylian Mbappe to take it. A run up from just to the left behind the ball. Up he comes, right-footed, and he scores! Martinez went the right way. Martinez, the brilliant penalty saver. A huge leap from him. But Mbappe's penalty was too good. It found the bottom corner, and France have a chance. It's Argentina 2, France 1. And like Messi, Mbappe scores from the penalty spot in the final, and they both have 6 goals at this World Cup.
Yeah, it's a terrific penalty. Martinez gets fingertips to it, goes the right way, but the power and the accuracy on the penalty was enough. And France do have a lifeline. France have some hope, really, from absolutely nowhere. Martinez unlucky there, Rob.
Well, if you do that slow pause, step, run up, then the chances are you're going to go to the goalkeeper's right if you're right-footed, because you've got to gain the power in it. For Mbappe, he got enough power in it, and it was a really good penalty. Macron was up, the France fans are up, and for the first time, the Argentina fans, the tens of thousands of them, have sat down.
Well, this is the classic situation, isn't it? World Cup final, but we've been down this road in football matches. You know, listeners will have been down this road. A comfortable lead, a 2-0 lead. You've been much the better team, and then in the latter stages, the opponents get one. What will happen next? And now Mbappe has the chance to score, which he does. Brilliant finish from the angle. Right-footed across Martinez, who got a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. It found the bottom corner, and it's Mbappe to the rescue from France. It's 2-2.
From nowhere, where has this come from? Mbappe has barely had a kick, and it was Messi who was robbed of the ball, I think, from Coman. They worked the ball into a central position, and then I think it's a bit of a give and go. The ball's fed to Rabiot, opens his body up, feeds it to Mbappe, who heads the ball down. I think it's to Thuram, who then lifts the ball over to Mbappe. It's a brilliant finish on the volley. Body shape superb from Mbappe, and he hammers a right-footed shot into the far corner, past Martinez. Nobody saw this coming.
It's a wonder goal. It's a wonder goal from Mbappe, and it's brought the game to life. The last 2 minutes have brought this game to life. They were cruising. Every single one of France subs has to be booked because they all sprinted across the pitch to celebrate with Mbappe.
Well, referee Marciniak ticked off the Argentina bench. He can't go and book all of the French substitutes. They're all gathering themselves. Didier Deschamps' reaction was incredible. Well, what a World Cup finals this has turned out to be. 2-2, an extra time beckoning. And what did we say about Argentina against the Netherlands? But we couldn't see it happening in this game. But it just has.
We said do something different, and there was nothing different about it but the softest of soft penalties. And all of a sudden, the dynamic changed, the belief changed in both teams.
Within 90 seconds or so between the two goals, the Mbappe penalty and then his 7th at this World Cup. Mbappe now leads the standings. And Kylian Mbappe has certainly stepped into this World Cup, but here's Acuna on the left-hand side for Argentina. And Fernandez shoots in that spot by Upamecano on the edge of the box. And it looks like Argentina, if they're going to win it, if they're going to take this World Cup back to Buenos Aires, they're going to have to win this World Cup final all over again. And actually now the holders have got their tails up. All of the changes that Didier Deschamps made, I mean, it improved France, but we did not see that coming.
Well, they're all over the place now tactically. The shape's completely gone. They've thrown everything to the wind, but Mbappe's tail is up.
He's on a hat-trick. But at the moment, the ball is being carried forward through the middle, and it's given out to Mbappe on the left-hand side, who crosses to the back post, but it's just over the top of Kolo Muani, and behind for a goal kick to Argentina.
Well, what an incredible match this is. How France are back in this, I really don't know. You think about the Otamendi hesitation, though, to allow the ball to bounce Muani to get the other side. And then Messi, who's been brilliant all evening, hasn't he? Giving the ball away, robbed of the ball. But it's moments, isn't it? It's been a World Cup of moments, magic moments. And Mbappe's finish was absolutely stunning.
France win a free kick inside their own half. It looked as though France were meekly heading to defeat. We were talking about the virus that's bothered them all week. Didier Deschamps made his changes, and it looks as though Didier Deschamps' changes might just have come up trumps, Chris.
Yeah, the last time I saw Didier Deschamps as excited as that, John,
was when he turned over the King of Hearts in a West London hotel room.
There you go.
And you couldn't believe your luck. And you said, Didier, you're better than that. Argentina 2, France 2. And he raised an eyebrow and he took the spoils. And he might just do it again.
He may have been thinking of me in that moment.
Maybe he was, Chris. Well, Koundé now on the right-hand side, and it's Alain Lebleu inside the Lusail Stadium here, and that's a foul by McAllister. Suddenly Argentina are on the back foot. France win a free kick. There's no Griezmann on the field now, though, in terms of the set pieces.
There's 2 balls on the pitch and no one's noticed. That's how wild this game is at the moment. It's all instinctive from France. They're just doing it on the hoof and just going for it, and it's coming off. It's all of a sudden a threat from everywhere.
Well, when they did win that World Cup last time, it was 3-2. Free kick is taken by France. Koundé and Mbappe together. It bounces to the edge of the Argentina box, then headed forward by Kolo Muani. Oh, that could be a penalty! No, it's given us a free kick the other way. It's given us a free kick to Argentina, and a yellow card is shown to Rabiot. Well, no, I mean, the referee Marciniak was waving that card around. It might have been Thuram. Yeah, Thuram it was, who I guess has been yellow carded for throwing himself down.
Yep, well, the referee seemed pretty sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think he's on his way down there. Thuram, is he caught? No, he's better than that.
Chris, 6:06 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to worry about the simulation game there. Marcus Thuram's got that wrapped up.
Oh, I tell you what, though, what a moment. I think we initially thought he was caught, but watching it back, good decision from the referee. The referee held his nerve.
Well done, referee Marciniak. Very good decision, very good spot. The first Polish man to referee a World Cup final, and he's got a big tick in the book for that one. And then there's been a clash of heads now on the far side, and it's a stoppage in play. And we will have a significant amount of time added on at the end of this match, which almost goes without saying at this World Cup. It was Rabiot and Alvarez who have come together, so we'll have a stoppage now. But what a 15 minutes that was.
It's an incredible couple of moments, and I just feel, as Chris touched on, the first penalty, the Di Maria penalty, was so soft that it kind of set Marciniak, the referee, up to have to give that one because there was contact, because he was the wrong side. We're talking the Premier League about a higher bar being in the penalty area. It's not the case for either of those, but there's no arguing about that second Mbappe goal. Wow.
Kylian Mbappe has very much come to the party, and here he is walking across now, and he's telling the French families actually behind the dugout to raise themselves and give it some noise against all of these Argentines. And those 2 goals that he scored, Mbappe, so 7 goals at this World Cup, but that for him now, that's 11 goals at World Cup, so he's become the youngest to score 10 goals or more in World Cup tournaments, and he's also become the youngest man to score in 2 World Cup finals. Scored in Moscow in the 4-2 win against Croatia 4 years ago, and 2 goals in this World Cup final.
And that was his 2 goals in Kazan in the cooking pot, which he did for Argentina at the last World Cup.
So
just looking at Mbappe there, what's going on there?
There's a little bit of something going on with Romero and Fernandes, but that's calmed down for the time being. Oh, that's a bit of a challenge by Romero, wasn't it, on Thuram on the edge of the box, and that's a free kick. That is a free kick to France. 2 or 3 paces outside the penalty area.
But he awarded a free kick.
But he's not, he's changed his mind. Throw-in is taken. Ball comes into the Argentina penalty area, and that's headed away by Otamendi. Comes back for France. Mbappe swings it high across the penalty area. Coleman, well, he was limping. He looked as though he might not be able to continue. That's when it was 2-0. But things have changed since then, and Coleman continues, and we've got 8 minutes of added time. So it could be extra time in the World Cup final. 2-2. Argentina were 2-0 up with 10 minutes to play, and France and Mbappe have changed all that, and Coleman now in the challenge with McAllister. Ball bounces away. Upamecano forward. A flick through the middle. Mbappe gives it back to Thuram, but Mbappe had come back from an offside position, and it is a free kick to Argentina.
Put every ball into the Argentina box now, your heart's in your mouth. You just think they're at 6s and 7s. The game's slowed down, but the jeopardy is a knife edge now.
I don't know what jammy in French is, but they've been so ugly in this game, haven't they? And all of a sudden they look like the more likely team to go on and win this.
Argentina with it on the left-hand side. Acuna through for Alvarez, but he can't reach that. He's overhit, and it was through for a goal kick. I think it might be Vinal, if I remember rightly from my lessons at school. Jammy, lucky in French. Très Vinal.
You are Vimar, that George is alongside you with his phone and Google.
How dare you? What an accusation. Goal kick. Loris takes this downfield. And the substitutes, Thuram, Colomani, have caused real problems, and that's what they're doing again. And Argentina are rattled. Argentina are worried here that this could turn completely around against them. Foul by Romero.
Well, two up top, straight ball, winning the first header. The Argentinians couldn't cope against the Netherlands, who stopped doing in extra time what they were effective at, but can the French nick one?
Well, it is a free kick. Mbappe has gone across there to take it, so no Griezmann on the pitch anymore, so Mbappe has taken up this role. So he's setting himself. It's way out on the left-hand side. We are in added time. We're in the 3rd minute of added time. It's 2-2. Mbappe in the golden boots. Plays it in, but it's headed away on the edge of the area for Argentina. And then Alvarez with a touch and forward from Acuna. And via a deflection, that's out of play. And Didier Deschamps, with that little piece of control in his shiny black shoes, demonstrates that he was a little more than a water carrier. And it's a throw-in to Argentina inside their own half. It's going to be a very interesting discussion with Mark Chapman and Kelly Cates once the added time is up as to who would be the favourites going into extra time with the way that France have come back. And Argentina wanted a free kick for a challenge on the ball, but Mbappe is off and around and he shoots. And he gets underneath that. It took a deflection as well, which carried it higher and wider and behind, and it's a corner.
And now he's playing a different game to everybody else on the field. Just that little burst over a couple of yards gets him away from Fernandez. It opens up, but it's Otamendi who gets out and deflects the shot over the bar.
And the way that Kylian Mbappe has come to life in this World Cup final. Argentina are sitting uneasily. Here's the corner. Martinez comes and gets a punch, the Argentine goalkeeper. Tchouameni takes that down. Camavinga now back out to the left-hand side from where the corner came. And Coleman goes round the outside. He's still going and he's upended just outside the box. Play continues. Camavinga with a shot. And then it's saved by Martinez. Camavinga cut it back. Rabiot hit the shot, but it was close enough to Martinez to go down, and even though he parried it and lost it, he was able to gather it at the second attempt when it bounced off the defender.
Yeah, good save, big save. Very difficult through bodies in and around him there. It's the first save he's made in the game. Such is the way, the shape that it's gone.
Argentina come forward and win a throw-in halfway inside the French half. All sorts of carry-on and activity going down on the French bench. All the substitutes are on their feet, and actually referee Marciniak has got his card out and he's running over here to this side of the field, and he is saying to someone on the French bench, I want you to come forward now, and he shows him the yellow card. And it's Giroud. It's Olivier Giroud who was called forward. Must take you back to your school days, Rob, there. That was very much you come here. Made him walk to the edge of the pitch, showed him the yellow card.
I was always at the front of the class anyway, didn't need to walk anywhere.
Argentina 2, France 2, deep in added time. A goal now, and whoever scores it will win the World Cup. And now it is France coming forward, and Mbappe plays it through the middle, and in comes the challenge on Kolo Muani, and it bounces back to Mbappe in the box on the left-hand side. Ball rattling around, they can't get it clear. Kolo Muani goes down in the area, and the referee says no penalty, but last ditch, heart in mouth defending from Argentina there, Chris.
Oh, it was. They somehow scrambled the ball to safety. It looked like on a couple of occasions Muani was going to break through.
Here's Messi at the other end though, middle of the half, still 2 minutes plus to play. Acuna out to the left-hand side. The ball played in from the left flank from Otamendi of all people. Blocked inside the area, then Rabiot is fouled. And that was a desperate foul because Argentina thought that France could be away, and Tagliafico is quite fortunate not to be yellow carded for that.
Oh, all the shape has gone from this game. The midfield's completely gone. It's just being bypassed,
which is great from our point of view.
Suits Mbappe down to the ground. He is just saving himself, waiting for those bursts, those moments of energy, those moments of just instinctive play between him and his teammates.
Ball headed infield for France, but cleared away by Otamendi. Argentina coming forward now. Argentina dominated the game for 80 minutes, really. Acuna Here's Alvarez on the left-hand side, the Manchester City youngster, to De Paul, and now square to Messi, and Messi on the edge of the D, left foot shot, saved by Lloris, leaping to his right. What a moment that was, and it was kept out by the flying French captain. It's a corner.
And that was the moment. I think once Messi chops inside two French defenders and gets the ball onto his left foot, you're thinking goal. What a save from Lloris, Rob, flying to his right-hand side, big left hand.
He's just had a little bit of dip, a last-minute movement to his left-hand side. It's caught the left wrist as it's gone over the bar, but everyone was up. Commentators are up, crowd are up. Lloris was up as well.
What a World Cup final this is turning out to be. How dramatic, how unexpectedly dramatic. It's 2-2. We're heading into extra time, but Argentina have a corner. Messi plays it in, it's headed away at the near post, and now Coman is fouled. Coman is fouled as he was bringing it forward. That has to be a yellow card. It is for Acuna, and that was blatant from him. And France have a free kick, but they would have been away.
It was 3v3. It was 3v3 with Mbappe away, and no one was catching him. That is the best foul of this World Cup.
2-2, 5 Live from the BBC. All those Argentina fans are sitting rather uncomfortably. I suspect Sir Geoff Hurst is sitting quite uncomfortably as well. The only man to have scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Here's Coman down the right-hand side. Coman's away from McAllister. Coman with a cross. It takes a double bounce off Argentina players inside their own penalty area, but bounces out of the box, and Messi now takes it up inside his own half, deep inside his own half. Finds a brilliant pass forward to Alvarez down the left wing. French defenders getting back. Alvarez into the box now, and then flicks it back to the edge of the area to Messi, and Messi with Camavinga is able to hook it across. De Paul with the header, and it's nodded away on the edge of the box, and that's it. That is it. The 90 minutes plus are up, and we will have extra time here at the end of this World Cup final in Qatar. After a 2-2 draw, Argentina 2, France 2, a match that France had to transform, and did, Chris Sutton.
Amazing second half. France just were not in it, and then all of a sudden Muani breaks beyond Otamendi. They win the penalty. Mbappe has the balls, pops it in, and then moments later gets that wonderful second goal. Nobody saw that coming. 2-2, extra time. You sort of fancy France in extra time, don't you?
I have no idea what to make of this next half an hour, because that made no sense whatsoever. And then from there...
Well, that's why we've got you here, Rob. Oh, look who's suddenly arrived very quickly at the end of full time.
Everyone.
Hello, Jules. You arrived much quicker at full time than at half time, didn't you?
I found the way much easier this time.
Answer myself and Kelly this. Where was Kylian Mbappe for 80 minutes?
Unbelievable. I don't know, no shots at all until the 70th minute. And then those two goals back to back. The penalty first, and then the second goal is a thing of beauty. The whole build-up, the 1-2 with Thuram. I lost my voice because I shouted so much on that second goal, but I just don't know where they found the resources to come and go at them again. The changes worked in a way. I thought Coman is doing really well, Thuram as well, and this came out of nowhere, literally nowhere.
I mean, I think it's fair to say the virus has run its course through this team. But when you look at what France did after 80 minutes, so you're right to point out the effect, because it was Coman who won the ball off Messi to start the move for the goal, wasn't it? But you can't put that down to any kind of tactical brilliance. That was just a couple of minutes of absolute chaos, and then the game has descended into an uncontrolled, I wouldn't say mess, because it's been brilliant to watch, but it has been uncontrolled.
Yeah, that's right. But if you remember the Argentina game against Australia, they lost control a bit the last 20 minutes. Against the Dutch, they lost control as well. Maybe physically they're a bit tired because they were so good for the first hour. And I think the substitution from Deschamps, that's all he could do. That's the only players really he can bring on.
So are you saying France played for the chaos at the end of the game that they knew was going to come from Argentina, and actually this is all pre-planned genius?
Exactly. We're just waiting. my heart can't take it anymore. I don't know what's going to happen the next half an hour, but it's going to be incredible.
Well, it'll be interesting, won't it? Because they left themselves open at the back as well, and Argentina had chances towards the end. So if they continue extra time like they finished the last 10 minutes of normal time, both sides, we're going to have plenty more chances.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, let's not forget that Eduardo Camavinga is 19. This is the second game of his life at left back, and it's a World Cup final, and he's got Messi in front of him. And I mean, I don't know what Camavinga is going to do for the next half hour, but this is probably the most important half hour in his whole life, to play completely out of position against the greatest player of all time. But this is what he's down to now. Those 11 players on the pitch will have to find a way of trying to win this.
Go on, you go and retake your seat as Messi and Lloris do the coin toss for ends and kick-off for extra time. Chris, myself and Kelly would when the referee didn't play advantage right at the end, Kelly said to me, that's the first mistake he's made. And he has. He's had it, considering the pressure.
We're providing our own analysis.
We are, yeah.
Let's not bring guests in.
No, and we thought we analysed that very well.
Yeah, who needs commentators and summarisers when we have you two? That was though. It was a. That's when France. When this game has opened up, that's when France look at their most dangerous. You know, they have that pace now and that power and that guile up top. But that was the first mistake. What was that? 87, 88 minutes. That's quite good, isn't it?
So they've tossed the coin to decide. Oh, go on. I was going to say they've tossed the coin to decide which end they're going to play out. The commentators have tossed the coin to decide who's going to start this period of extra time. It is with Chris Sutton and Rob Green. You just got a sneak peek of him there. Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Kelly. You know, when John said earlier, we were talking about what's jammy in French, what's flummoxed in French, because I honestly didn't think I'd be coming back on. And when John said I doubt we'll hear his voice again, well, there you go, because I don't think anybody could see France coming back in to this World Cup final, and yet they have. A bolt from Le Blues as we're underway, and it's France in all navy blue who in this first period of extra time on BBC Radio 5 Live are playing from right to left, and the momentum towards the end was certainly with the French in those two stunning goals, particularly the second one. Complete turnaround. So 2-2, and also Argentina have made a change at the start of extra time. Montiel has come on for Molina. It's a like-for-like change. The Sevilla right back, he was suspended for the semi-final against Croatia, and it's only his fourth appearance. Started against Mexico. He'd made a couple of appearances off the bench, so he's on. So Emi Martinez is in goal. Montiel, Romero, Otamendi and Tagliafico, McAllister, Fernandez, De Paul and Acuna, Messi and Alvarez. Argentina in their white and sky blue striped shirts and white shorts are playing from left to right. And we have the French side with Hugo Lloris in goal, Koundé, Upamecano, Varane and Camavinga, Coman, Tchouaméni, Rabiot, Mbappe, Thuram and Kolo Muani. Here is Montiel for Argentina. Barged over by Thuram, free kick to Argentina. That's a growing concern for the fourth official, and I would imagine it during the extra time that the substitutes and the coaching staff, if you've ever been on a Sunday Park football with the children in the morning and you see the overzealous parent who's just straying over the touchline and putting pressure on the officials, that type of behaviour has certainly been here in abundance tonight with both sets really of the bench, where at times they've gone over that and encroached onto the pitch, and the officials will be looking to try and cut that out. Here is Fernandez in the midfield for Argentina. Out it goes towards Acuna, wraps over the cross. Alvarez was making a run, comes out towards McAllister, who drills it off target. And so we press the reset button.
Yeah, there's a good ball in, whipped in from that left-hand side from Acuna. Haven't been so effective, Argentina, since Di Maria went off, but Varane taking up that position in that near post space area, got a good enough connection. It's a poor effort, I think, from McAllister, who dragged his shot well wide.
It's the 8th World Cup final that has gone to extra time. Only 2 have been decided by penalties 94 and 2006 as De Paul charges forward for Argentina. Little slip by Camavinga allows Messi, who then hauls back Camavinga. There was no attempt to play the ball there.
You should see yellow for that.
Any other player other than Messi, you're thinking it's a yellow card.
Absolutely, yep. Clear as day, but tends to get away with little things.
Camavinga, who started as a right back against Tunisia, playing as a left back here for France, as already 3 minutes into this first period of extra time. Tchouaméni, midway through his own half. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and if you've been listening to us on the radio, you've been out and about on a Sunday afternoon, and you're about to close to home, it's on BBC One, and you can listen to World Cup Extra on the iPlayer through to listen to our commentary as well as watch the pictures. And we've already had so much drama. You wait to see what else will unfold here in the Lusail Stadium. Tchouaméni plays it short. Camavinga over the halfway line.
France being direct, aren't they? The ball from Lloris just clipped forward. Rouhani winning the header.
Here is Rabiot, looking to try and get the ball through the middle to Colomouani, cleared by Romero. I mean, that's where the Dutch didn't learn their lessons, as Colomouani has won it back. It was a strong 50-50 ball dug out by Fernandes. After battling back with that dramatic finish from Wout Weghorst, they then went back into their shell a little bit, didn't they? And they didn't continue to play as direct that had caused Argentina all of the problems.
Well, you're thinking at the start of the game, you're saying if it's a chaotic game, it would suit Argentina more. This, now, if it's chaotic, it suits France with the players they've got on the pitch.
Free kick to France, and it's going to have to be retaken. There's going to be a change, in fact, down below. So this is the fifth substitute, but they are still allowed one more. They'll get an extra one in extra time, will France. And it's Rabiot who's coming off. And Rabiot, who was one of those players who's been fighting that virus, he's done well to last as long as he has, really. So Rabiot is off, and Youssef Fofana of Monaco comes on to replace him in the midfield. It was Fofana who in fact had deputised and started in that semi-final against Morocco. And in fact, suspected concussion is the reason that Rabiot has gone off.
Yeah, he took that blow towards the end of the second half, didn't he, on the back of the neck, side of the head. Spent some time getting treatment.
So, Fofana here now in the midfield in the centre circle. Back to Upamecano. Camavinga at left back. Ball played up towards Mbappe on a hat-trick, looking to turn. He's only scored one hat-trick in his French career. Mind you think 35 goals he's now scored in 66 appearances. Romero's just getting a talking to from Marciniak. Mbappe has actually stayed down.
He's holding his ankle. I thought it was his hamstring initially. His hands have moved further down. It's a strong challenge from Romero. So does that substitution, as it's been a concussion sub, can they have another one?
Yes, they can. 6.5 minutes played in this first period of extra time. 2-2. Remarkable turnaround. If you know somebody who doesn't like football, then just show them this game, because it just never ever ceases to amaze. McAllister out towards that far side. Acuna on the left with the cross, drops just away from Messi, pops back up towards Messi, lifted back in by De Paul, and out it goes for a goal kick. And now all of a sudden you can't call it yet. For 80 minutes you'd say Argentina all day long.
Yeah, it's one ball into the box, it's one tired run that needs to be made, one just gamble, just get in there. They didn't. It's a little bit slow, just a little bit laboured, and you've just got to take that chance at some point. It's your chance to be a hero.
Could we be heading to a penalty shootout here in Lusail? Lloris goes long with the goal kick, headed away by Otamendi. Challenge comes in from Koundé on Acuna. Cross was an awkward one to deal with there for Romero, but stooping, he saw it back to Emi Martinez. He might have to produce the heroics just as he did against the Dutch in the quarter-final here inside this stadium, as we're midway through the first period of extra time here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Argentina 2, France 2. Fernandez to Montiel. Montiel back with Fernandez. Just think, as the ball is Colomouani, lifts it back on the inside of Montiel. Colomouani edge of the area, goes into the box, quickly surrounded by the sky blue and white striped shirts, and stopped just at the right time. De Paul plays it down the line. Camavinga. France, though, have been re-energised with the substitutions that they've made. Here is Mbappe, nice little footwork, dances away from the challenge of Romero, who sets off in pursuit of Mbappe, and Mbappe's into the penalty box there, and in the end it was some very tired defending, managed to get the ball away.
Argentina just need to kick the ball off because De Paul can barely move.
Goes to ground under the challenge. That was Fofana, and he's got a free kick for his efforts as well. They look the stronger, the fresher side.
They do. Wasn't that a brilliant little run from Mbappe? Twinkle toes initially, and eventually enough Argentinian bodies back to win the ball back. But this is an opportunity. Now, free kick on this left-hand side. Koeman over the ball, right-footed in-swinger. I think the French have the height on the Argentinians.
All in navy, playing from right to left. First period of extra time. Koeman to take it into a crowded area, headed out by Fernandez, fired back in by Fofana, strikes the back of Fernandez, and then a leaping Messi has to concede the corner kick. Rob Green.
It's all France now. Swamp the box, are doing really well with positional shape, just three on the edge, just not allowing Argentina out. Argentina, deep breaths, need to see these moments through.
Corner kick to France. Koeman to take it again on this near side, the left. In it goes. Headed out at the near post. Comes out to Fofana. Left-footed, passes it to Koundé. First time cross comes in. 8 yards out. Further header away by Acuna towards Messi. Challenged by Tchouaméni. And the referee has given a free kick to Argentina for a very late flag.
I think initially he'd given the foul. Awarded the free kick for a foul on Messi from Fofana, but wasn't sure about that once he gave the offside instead.
Argentina, who've got still a number of players to bring on. They've only made 2 changes so far, Acuna and Montiel. So they're going to bring on Lautaro Martinez, and also Paredes is going to be coming on in the midfield. But it's Colomouani who was challenged there by Montiel. Referee says no foul, but then there was one on McAllister. And McAllister not happy. So here we're going to see a couple of changes. Lautaro Martinez, who's going to be coming off. And De Paul is going to be coming off. Paredes will replace De Paul. So that will be in the midfield. He's had a fine game, fine tournament indeed. Rodrigo De Paul. Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan, who scored the decisive penalty against the Dutch, comes on for Alvarez, who's worked himself into the ground.
Yeah, both De Paul and Alvarez barely moved by the end of their time on the pitch. Martinez has the engine, although not long to show it. It's certainly one who can get around.
Still at 2-2 here in Lusail. We'll give you all of the reaction, all of the fallout from this dramatic World Cup final on the World Cup Daily Pod. Available on BBC Sounds. Very soon it will revert to the 5 Live Football Daily. No doubt previews for the League Cup ties that we'll be bringing you on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday on BBC Radio 5 Live. But in this gripping World Cup final, who will come out on top as we approach the end of this first period of extra time? Romero, searching ball out towards the left, headed away by Koundé, brought down by McAllister. The Brighton player signed by Sam Jewell for £8 million. He's certainly going to be a real gem for Brighton, and they'll certainly triple that amount of money, one would imagine, for their new acting head of recruitment at the Amex, with 90 seconds remaining as the ball is played forward to Acuna, and Acuna on the edge of the area. Acuna tries to get the shot away, left-footed, couldn't keep it down, goes out of play for a goal kick, still 2-2.
Yeah, that was a sensational pass from Paredes near the halfway line. Fizzes in a pass to Acuna, who positioned himself in the corner of the 18-yard box, and the ball rebounded back from the initial effort. Poor effort, wasn't it? The ball goes out to play for a French goal kick.
They look like they've gone to 3 at the back now, with Montiel as the wing back, with unless it was just for that set piece where Paredes had just dropped back inside the two central defenders. He certainly doesn't venture far, the holding midfielder, at the best of times anyway. Inside the last 60 seconds, Messi and McAllister try and combine. Messi comes away, back towards McAllister. The return ball to Messi. He's found Lautaro Martinez. Shot blocked. Comes out to Montiel. And then off the head of Varane and behind for a corner kick. What a game this has been. 2-2.
Well, what a block. That's as good as a goal, that from Upamecano. They work it superbly, Argentina. Messi pops the ball out to Martinez, and everybody's thinking he must score. Upamecano from nowhere gets the block on. Then the ball, I don't even know who shot that from the edge of the box, was hammered.
Montiel.
And headed behind.
I think it came off the head of Varane. By my watch, the 15 minutes of this first period of extra time are up. 1 minute of additional time, which we're now into. Argentina corner kick, far side to left. It's deep, it's high, and it's going to curl all the way out of the penalty area. And Tchouaméni and Fernandez go shoulder to shoulder, and it will be a France throw on this near side.
Caught that well, didn't he, Montiel? Like a kung fu style kick. He absolutely caught it flush.
Hasn't ever scored for Argentina. What a chance that would have been to get his first, as the ball is lifted forward. Lautaro Martinez goes goalward, stabs it wide. It was Upamecano who went with him. They're appealing for a corner kick, but Marciniak is saying no.
It's a brilliant tackle, right at the death. Camavinga was playing him onside. It's the last throw of the leg as Martinez is about to shoot. Just enough on it.
Chance for another breather after the end of 90 minutes. Rob Green just slumped into his chair at the end of the 90 minutes. But we've got another 15 minutes of extra time here, and it's Argentina 2, France 2. Mark.
What are you pointing at, Chris?
Didier Deschamps has lost his head there with, is it Thuram? I think it is Thuram. Yeah. They just scream. I don't know whether Thuram was screaming. Deschamps was screaming at him for about 20 seconds there.
He was, and they're still next to each other. And maybe he's just calmed down slightly, and Didier Deschamps just maybe opened a hand up towards Thuram, and Didier Deschamps has gathered his French players in a circle, and he is in the middle now as he talks to them. What a block from Upamecano, Chris. And in fact, he got the tackle on as well on Lautaro Martinez when it went for a corner and they gave a goal kick. But Upamecano's tackle was phenomenal.
Yeah, as the ball goes to Martinez, he's 8 yards out at an angle with just Lloris to beat, and everybody inside the stadium's thinking goal. All of a sudden he launches himself. Upamecano gets the block, and then the issue with Camavinga playing at left back, of course, didn't hold a good line. He was deeper than Upamecano. Martinez, really good run, but Upamecano got across, crucial defending, and it's been Argentina who are looking more likely to win this game now.
Argentina may have had the better chances, Rob, but France look like they have more energy, and Argentina now look like France did for the first 80 minutes of the game.
Something like that, yeah. It was. I just think, again, you just go direct. You know, it's been working, and it works for the Netherlands. And when they do, Mbappe comes alive, and the jeopardy, all of a sudden, no one knows who's got the ball or where it's going to land, but the jeopardy's there, and the whole tension in the stadium rises. Just think now, with Argentina attacking that huge bank of fans, that may give them a little lift as they're going into this second period.
This is sensational and completely unforeseen on 79 minutes. John Murray.
The second period of extra time begins. Argentina kick off. In the sky blue and white stripes, they're playing from right to left as we look from high up here on the dugout side of the Lusail Stadium, this great golden casket of a ball. And it is Argentina with Acuna down the left, and the ball is blocked away off Coleman, but Argentina keep it in play, and McAllister plays it square, and the newly arrived Paredes out to Messi on the right hand side, and here's the cross deep from Montiel, but that's got too much on it. It just drifts away over the goal and beyond the far post and behind for a goal kick. Rob Green and Chris Sutton are with us here witnessing this unforgettable unforgettable World Cup final that, I don't know about you two, but I would like to see this won before penalties. It's been such a good game. I'd just like to see it won in the conventional style.
I think you'd want someone to go for it in this next 15 minutes, to give it a real go and just to throw caution to the wind. I get the feeling, as the minutes tick by, that might not happen.
No, I'm thinking that also.
But why don't we want a bit more drama, John?
I'd like genuine drama. I'd like a proper goal scored to win a match like this. Ball played over the top. Lloris has come out of his goal, and Montiel was chasing away down there from the full-back position, and Lloris shoved it away out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Montiel has gone quickly across to take this. Those Argentina fans behind the goal, not as animated as they were for the first 80 minutes of the match, not by any means. Throwing into the penalty area, Messi shoots low, and Lloris has to go down and push it away, and the ball's still in play, and Upamecano puts in the challenge. One or two behind the goal shout rather hopefully that might have been a penalty. In fact, they've got a corner out of it off Upamecano.
It was awkward. I think he's given an offside somehow. I don't actually know what's gone on there, but he's given, as Lloris taking a goal kick, maybe it was an offside, but it was awkward goalkeeping, Rob, wasn't it, from Lloris?
I was about to say it was an awkward shot, actually, Chris, that was well saved.
Amazing how we think, isn't it?
Yep, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is a goal kick that Lloris will take. 2-2 the score. If you've just joined us, you joined us late on 5 Live or on the BBC World Service across Africa, wherever you are, just imagining what it might be like in Buenos Aires right now. Ball played forward, through the middle, Lautaro Martinez lays it off Messi, then Fernandes, back to the right-hand side, he shot, oh, Messi's there, it's cleared off the line, or is it over? Is it over? Messi in the 6-yard box, Messi's celebrating, he's celebrating, and the goal is given! Messi has scored it, and Argentina lead by 3 goals to 2. He was there in the 6-yard box when it mattered. It was blocked on the line, but it was over the line. And now, Messi, just like Mbappe, has scored 2 goals in this final. This unforgettable World Cup final here in Qatar. And Argentina are back in front again. 3-2 on France.
Yeah, it's just a hopeful ball initially. Martinez makes the run in behind, and then the ball's fed out wide. Martinez hammers a shot. It's a brilliant save from Lloris, instinctive save at his near post, but he just palms the ball down, and Messi, I think it's right-footed from Messi, gets the ball over the line, bundles it over the line, and Messi, has he had the final say?
The celebrations are still going on. That's still going on, and Messi now emerges emerges from that. And this is at the end where the mass ranks of the Argentina fans are. And Messi punches the air over and over again. And now, on his own, he breaks away. Two clenched fists in the air. Lionel Messi. What a moment. And he stands now and he turns and he raises his arms and he says to those Argentina fans, come on, up go the arms again, and they respond. What a moment, what theatre.
They celebrated with all four corners of the ground, and it's by inches. It goes in by inches. Varane staggering back over the line, cannot do enough to stop it going over the line. And everyone from the bench, everyone behind the goal was up.
And credit to Argentina as well. You know, a moment like that, they had three men in blue and white shirts inside the French penalty area. Fernandes and Lautaro Martinez, and then ultimately Messi in the 6-yard box. I'm not sure what sort of contact he actually got on it, but it was enough to get it on target and over the line before Varane cleared it away. 3-2 Argentina lead, just like it was when they last won the World Cup in 1986. That finished 3-2 to Diego Maradona's Argentina.
And is it fair to say, John and Rob, that wasn't a goal you'd necessarily associate with Lionel Messi 2 yards out?
Was it a Chris Sutton goal? By Lionel Messi?
It was off his foot, not his shin.
He was offside in the build-up, but it didn't go to him, and that was just the bit of fortune they needed.
So Messi now moves back alongside Mbappe on 7 goals at this World Cup. France aren't finished yet though. And here's Thuram on the left-hand side. Nice footwork from him, but it's smacked away downfield by Argentina. Varane with a header across to Upamecano, who nods it back to Lloris. And again, the holders now are facing defeat. They are, well, they're 10 minutes from losing this World Cup final, but they've been there before. Ball through the middle for Mbappe. He can't get there. Huge cheer because Paredes did for Argentina. The ball bounces to Acuna here. Acuna just gets to it before it rolls over the white line. Lautaro Martinez is chasing this. Varane is watching the ball down into the fullback position, and he stumbled as he passed the ball out of play. I think he's suggesting that he got a shove, but Lautaro Martinez didn't seem to be close enough to him.
No, I think he's just absolutely shattered, completely broken physically, chasing that ball.
And remember, Varane was one of the players who's affected by the illness this week, and he's on his knees, and I don't think he's going to be able to continue.
One of the Argentinian substitutes picked the ball up and volleyed it. I think it nearly went into the top tier there.
Varane's leaving the action. He's been led away up the touchline. And they brought Konate. Konate has come on to replace him, so that was done double quick by Didier Deschamps. So Ibrahima Konate of Liverpool is on the field in the World Cup final, where Argentina lead France by 3 goals to 2. And now time is running out again for France. Acuna has got the ball next to the corner flag. Acuna putting his foot on it. He's been leaned into by Coleman, who wasn't able to get the ball away, so Acuna's got it back, and eventually it does run out of play, and referee Marchinha says, come on, let's have the ball back. And actually another ball has appeared, so Lloris has taken that. So even though the referee's over here, play's underway, and Camavinga is already advancing towards the halfway line. France came back from 2-0 down, now the 3-2 down, and then Montiel just slides in and catches Camavinga so late. And he's taken him out around the shins. I think he was already off the ground, Camavinga there. He saw it coming. He stayed down. There's a bit of a dust-up now, pushing and shoving. Most of the players on the field are involved in that, but it's calmed down very quickly.
I think Montiel knew what he was doing, and every French player knew what he was doing and reacted accordingly.
And a yellow card, presumably Paredes. Yellow carded from that. Right, free kick for France. Out towards the left-hand side. Coleman has gone across there to take it. The scoreline in this thrilling blockbuster 2022 World Cup final is 3-2 to Argentina. Coleman takes the free kick in. Players go down in the area. It's headed away for Argentina. Comes back to the right-hand side. Koundé is there. The right back. His pass was a little short to Tchouaméni. Now Konate heads it back to Koundé, and Koundé's pass forward, and then it's bouncing on the right-hand side for Konate, and Konate now looking to cross, and that's blocked by the defender behind Tagliafico for a corner to France. French corner from the right. 5 minutes to go. Another change is going to be made. It's an Argentina change. That's it for Alexis McAllister, who the referee is saying, he's actually sort of leaned into him. The referee is up to say, come on, you get yourself to the halfway line. And it is German Pesela of Real Betis who is coming on, central defender, replacing midfielder. Play will resume with a French corner. This is in the end to our right, where all of those red, white and blue flags are being waved. So Pesela is on. Coleman with a corner for France. This is a deep one. Oh, it takes a flick off a couple of heads. Tchouaméni. Mbappe with a shot. That's blocked in the area. It's a penalty. The referee's seen a handball. Two Argentine defenders threw themselves in the way of that shot from Mbappe. The referee was instant. He pointed to the spot and he's seen the outstretched arm. It's the right decision. It's Montiel and it's a penalty, and Mbappe will have a chance to become the second man to score a penalty, to become the second man to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Chris Sutton.
I don't think we can have any more drama. I thought that was it. Di Maria in tears on the bench for Argentina. Mbappe has to pop this one in. I thought it was a penalty.
Yep.
I thought the arm was out as Montiel just turned his back slightly. Mbappe hammered the shot, trying to find that far top corner. What a moment.
What a moment indeed. Now he is up against the arch penalty saver from Aston Villa, Emiliano Martinez, who very nearly got the earlier penalty that he scored in this match. But this, a moment of history in a World Cup final. Only Sir Geoff Hurst has scored a hat-trick on the greatest stage of all. But now, Kylian Mbappe in the golden boots from the penalty spot, attempting to score his second spot kick of the final. It's there! He sends Martinez the wrong way, and France have now made it 3-3. And Kylian Mbappe joins Sir Geoff Hurst as a World Cup final hat-trick scorer. What amazing drama we have witnessed here in Doha in this World Cup final. And it's not over yet. And Mbappe now 8 goals at this tournament. 3-3.
Well, Mbappe, golden balls. What courage, what belief, what confidence to slot that in. Martinez dived left. But the pace, the accuracy from Mbappe. I actually think he slipped, his foot gives away slightly, but finds the corner. This is going to go all the way.
Messi scores in extra time. Mbappe scores in extra time. And now Argentina are breaking forward again, and the ball almost bounces for Messi 25 yards out, but it's cleared away. Argentina 3, France 3. What a storyline. And now Messi picks up the ball and sets off running at the French defence. Defenders throw themselves in on the edge of the D and are able to block it away. Comes back for Argentina. Out to the left-hand side. Those Argentina fans trying to suck this in. Acuna with a cross comes off. Koundé and spins away behind, wide of the near post and behind for an Argentina corner. Rob Green.
Well, at the start of the game, we said it's not all about Messi and Mbappe. I'll take it all back.
Well, in fairness, Di Maria did score one of the goals. So Messi to take the corner from the left-hand side. What chance they both score a hat-trick in the final? Not from here. It's a corner that is whipped into the edge of the D. France are able to clear it, bounces down for Koundé. and he clears it out on the far side. Well, we're in the last minute now of extra time. There's added time to come, you would guess 2 or 3 minutes, judging by the standards of this World Cup. But it looks like there will be that extra drama of a penalty shootout. And you've got to give France so much credit for digging themselves out of hole after hole. And here they come now with Mbappe on the left-hand side, and Mbappe right for the cross, and a stretching header that is just wide. Oh my goodness. Oh, what drama.
Well, this is sensational from Mbappe, because as the ball goes out to the left-hand side, naturally I think we're all thinking he's going to run at the Argentinian back line, but he gets his head up and whips in a tantalising ball, and Muani, 8 yards out. I don't think he gets any contact on the header, but it goes agonisingly past the far post, and Martinez was at full stretch.
I don't think he got anything on it. France making another change. Disasi, the Monaco defender, is coming on for Koundé, and Argentina also going to make a change. It's Dybala coming on. Paulo Dybala is barely been involved in this World Cup, came on as a late substitute in the semi-final, has had an injury coming into this, but clearly Dybala coming on with penalties in mind, and he is taking the place of Tagliafico.
That took an eternity to go wide. It just drifted and bounced and slowly. No one knew whether that was going in or not. What a game we've had.
Haven't we just? There can't have been too many better World Cup finals than this. I remember a time when they were very often a letdown, World Cup finals, but not this one. So 3-3, and it looks as though only the third World Cup final to go to penalties will be the outcome here in Doha. What a finale it's been. Ball is with Argentina. 3 minutes of time have been added at the end of this second period of extra time. So there are still 90 seconds to play. Time for one last twist, perhaps, which is what Acuña's doing now, twisting and playing the ball forward. And Dybala is able to get a touch on that. Lautaro Martinez can't get there. France clear. Canate to the halfway line. Fernandez plays it through the middle. Messi plays it over the top. Lautaro Martinez is in. Might have been fouled. Still going. Defender blocks it. It comes out. And the offside flag is up against Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, it was offside. It was never onside at any point. So it was a clear offside, and just the way these games go on, you just never know.
Well, 40 seconds to play, Chris Sutton. 40 seconds. 6:06 to come with you and Robbie Savage. You'll have plenty to talk about after this.
Yeah, I'm not quite thinking about 6:06 just at this moment, John.
No. So, penalty shootout, seconds away. France played over the top. Muani's in. Oh, what a save by Martinez! Stuck out a left leg, came out, did a star jump, and Muani's shot hit that left leg. And now the final attack. It's Argentina, and it's played forward into the area on the right, flicked across. Oh, the header is wide from Lautaro Martinez from 10 yards. What a finish! What a finish! And the header well wide. He got it all wrong, actually. It was wide by probably 10 yards.
He did, but what a chance. But the earlier one from Muani, the ball, just a helpful ball over the back line of the Argentinian defence, and Muani one-on-one. Just how crucial could that save be from Martinez? Muani just went for power, is thinking, I'm going to put my foot through it. And Martinez spread himself brilliantly, Rob.
Huge save, huge moment. It was just, he just made himself as big as he could.
We're still playing. I don't think the referee wants this to finish. I don't think any of us do. Here's Mbappe, who's set away by Tchouaméni, but down into the fullback position. Mbappe taking on Montiel, one way and the other, beats him again. Mbappe's still going. Oh, the cross comes to covering challenge to put it out of play.
Just shoot.
If he'd scored that, I would have walked out. And that's it. What a World Cup final. One of the best. Argentina 3, France 3, and everyone on their feet inside this Lusail Stadium here in Doha to give them a standing ovation. What entertainment. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, crazy end to this game. Well, it's been a crazy game overall, hasn't it? And somehow France dig deep again. I've got to say, I thought it was a penalty when it looked like Messi had got the winning goal from a yard or two for Argentina. But that save from Martinez, I just wonder whether that could be the biggest moment in this game, because Muani should have scored, but that's huge.
Martinez at one end, Martinez at the other end, and it's finished. Argentina 3, France 3, Mbappe hat-trick, 2 from Messi, 1 from Di Maria. What a match. Penalties become Kelly and Mark.
Rob, what a 120 minutes, plus plenty of injury time, as we've seen throughout this World Cup it's been. And as John said, at the end of the 120 minutes, everybody in the stadium on their feet, bar a good percentage of the players who were on the pitch getting treatment for cramp. It's taken everything out of everyone.
Yeah, me and Chris were under the table as well, absolutely exhausted. It's just been a game that has had everything other than a red card, I think, and I wouldn't write that off just yet, but it's one way. France, you have to give them so much credit for just picking themselves up off the floor continuously, because you just could not give them a prayer after an hour. They looked forlorn. They just snapped your hands off now for penalties, now.
If you're going into a penalty shootout and you're the team that's come back from 2-0 down, if you're the team that's come back from 3-2 down, which of them mentally do you think is in a better... No, you're both pulling faces at me as if to say neither of them. Fine, that's a valid answer.
Yeah, I'm with that one. I really don't think it matters. Look, it's a team game, but this is so individual now. These moments, it's about belief and courage in your conviction. Now, don't lose your nerve if you're a player, but it's easier said than done. I mean, this is as intense as it will get. I've just got a feeling for Argentina with these penalties. I normally get things wrong just because of that save at the end. I thought that's such a significant save from Martinez, but who knows?
But I was going to say, but his headed chance as well, Rob. Two minutes before he was clean through Colombiani. His headed chance as well.
It was two chances that if they fell to Mbappe, the game would have been gone. It was done. It was sealed. The second hour that Mbappe's had, it would have been finished it, but they didn't. But even still, Mbappe had a chance himself and didn't shoot. So there's just so many twists and turns in this game.
Can I line up to something as well from me and Rob? When Mbappe went to take the penalty, we both said Martinez would save it. We said Mbappe would miss that. How wrong were we?
Well, bearing in mind we've had a lot of discussions about the order of who takes penalties, Chris, and I know you think it's utterly irrelevant. Messi went first in Argentina's last shootout. You would expect him to go first again, and then Mbappe to go first for the French. And the penalties, by the way, are going to take place away to our left in front of the thousands and thousands of Argentina fans behind that goal. So the penalties are away to our left, but Messi and then Mbappe, or Mbappe and then Messi, depending on who's going first.
Well,
you're not bothered, are you?
I don't know. I don't think it matters the order at all.
Okay. I mean, I would suggest that Mbappe goes first, wouldn't you, Kelly?
Certainly, if it was France, I would suggest that if it was going to be Mbappe, he would go first. With you for the penalties, and this is real playground stuff. This is what kids do around the world. They take penalties in the playground to win the World Cup final for their country. John Murray and Rob Green, but first of all, Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Mark. It'll be France to go first. Emi Martinez, remember, saved the first two penalties against the Dutch, and it is Mbappe who comes first. You'd imagine that Messi will follow suit. He did against the Netherlands. It's Mbappe. He scored a hat-trick, and he scored the first penalty, right-footed, left-hand side. I think Emi Martinez got a hand on it.
Well, has gone the same way. Every penalty, but he just backs himself. It's a brilliant penalty. I tell you what, Martinez flying to his right-hand side. Left fingertips to the ball, but enough power.
Interesting choice that as well. Remember, Mbappe had the penalty saved against Switzerland at the Euros last year, which was the decisive penalty. This time Mbappe took the first one, and it is Lionel Messi then. Messi, who's already scored a penalty past Lloris in this match in normal time in the first half. That was the opening goal. So Messi against Lloris, take two. Left foot. Oh, Lloris went the wrong way, but still had time to adjust, but couldn't get there. And it's in. It's 1-1 in the shootout.
I don't think I've ever seen someone hit one so slowly and it still go in. That is backing yourself. He waited and watched and waited. He took one to Lloris's left-hand side first, that one the other way. Lloris was just a fraction slow on it.
Kingsley Coman comes forward. He's placed the ball on the spot. He was one of the players who've been hit with this virus in the build-up to this final. Not the longest of run-up for Coman. Right-footed, saved by Martinez! Martinez with the heroics for Argentina! And Coman's had it saved.
Just guesses the right way. Martinez. It's quite a tame penalty from Coman. It's not going right into the corner, but Martinez flies to his right-hand side. Comfortable save. Advantage Argentina.
So Martinez makes the save. Saved two penalties against the Dutch in the shootout, Van Dijk and Berghuis. And remember how Martinez made those crucial saves in the Copa America semi-final last year. So Dybala next for Argentina, left-footed right down the middle, and Lloris diving to his left, tried to get there with his feet, but the ball was passed him low and in the net.
It's risky because he's hit it low. If you're going to go straight, give it a little bit of lift, because the goalkeeper can always leave his feet there. The trailing foot might save it. It's close.
Tchouaméni now comes forward for France, the only player in this French squad who started all 7 games. And Emi Martinez, who saved those 3 penalties against Colombia in the Copa America semi-final, has just tossed the ball away. He's picked it up. The Argentinian supporters during that tournament loved him. He was into the trash talking, into the gamesmanship, and he's at it again. He saved the 2 penalties against Van Dijk and Berghuis against the Dutch. He's saved one already. It's a shootout live on 5 Live. France with Tchouaméni. He's missed it. He's pulled it wide. They've only converted 1 out of their 3. It's advantage Argentina now.
Yeah, Martinez was in Tchouaméni's head there. He actually threw the ball to the side, made Tchouaméni walk 20 yards and pick up the ball, give him more thinking time. Little dance from Martinez, but Argentina can't lose it from here, can they?
So that makes it is still 2-1 to Argentina in the shootout. They very much have the edge, and it's Paredes now, the Paris Saint-Germain man on loan at Juventus. Steps back, little steps now, right-footed penalty, and it's beyond Lloris, down to his right. It's in. 3-1 Argentina lead in the shootout, and they're on the brink again.
Go hard, go low. He does both. Lloris guesses right. It's too hard, too strong, too good a penalty.
Randall Kolo-Muani comes forward. What pressure on the 24-year-old who was only called up to the squad due to the injury to Christopher Nkunku. Martinez is shown a yellow card, but he's now whipping up the crowd. But the Argentinian goalkeeper has just been booked. Kolo-Muani has to score. He runs up now and goes right down the middle with a powerful right-footed finish, and France are still in it.
Yeah, if in doubt, put your foot through it. Ioane, right-footed, laces through the ball, hammers it down the middle of the goal. Still hope.
Montiel, Gonzalo Montiel, the right back, the substitute. He could be the man who wins it. The son of a bricklayer and a cleaner is now here in Qatar with a chance to win the World Cup for Argentina. And up he comes right-footed and scores! And off comes the shirt! And up go the fans! And Argentina have won the World Cup again! For the first time since 1986! What a match! What a finale! And that penalty seals it for Lionel Messi and his team. And they're in raptures. Argentine celebrations all over the pitch in 3 different areas, 3 different huddles. The crowd are up. There are hugs and kisses and tears. Great French disappointment, of course. The holders lose at the last, not able to retain the title. But it is Lionel Messi and his young muchachos who can celebrate it. And there he is now, right in the middle. He's walked away on his own. Lionel Messi will cap his career here. The crowning moment, the crowning glory. He's waving both hands above his head and he's blowing them kisses. What a brilliant finish to a brilliant international career for the great little man, the Argentine number 10. And across come his teammates and the staff and envelop him in hugs. 4-2 the final score in the penalty shootout after a 3-3 draw. Drama of the highest standard. And Didier Deschamps down there, all on his own with his hands on his hips. So close to successfully defending the title, but have fallen just short. Rob Green, Chris Sutton.
A brilliant match. One of the all-time World Cup finals. Capped fittingly to win it for one of the all-time players. He has his moment. Everyone's exhausted. Players are out on their feet. Everybody has put everything into it. It's been an amazing spectacle.
It's hard to know what to say, isn't it? You know, Messi looks like this is his final World Cup. What a way to go out. That moves him up alongside the great Diego Maradona. But what drama, that Martinez save at the end of extra time. And the Argentinians stayed composed in the shootout. Martinez was in the French players' heads, wasn't he? Made a great save, and look, I'm not so sure how I feel about lobbing the ball away from Tchouameni and making him go and pick the ball up. But it did the trick. Feel for Didier Deschamps, feel for his French team, who showed so much resilience, kept coming back and back again. But it's Messi's final, it's Argentina's final, and to think they started this tournament losing to Saudi Arabia, John.
And you feel also for Kylian Mbappe, scoring a hat-trick in the World Cup final and ending on the losing side. But there we are, Diego Maradona and friends won the World Cup in 1986. In 2022, Lionel Messi and friends win the World Cup in Qatar. Argentina 3, France 3, and Argentina win the shootout 4-2. Mark Chapman, Kelly Cates.
They didn't know what to do at the end, the Argentina players, Chris. They either went to Messi, they went to Martinez after his heroics from the goalkeeping perspective in the shootout, and the one who was kind of forgotten in it all was Montiel, who got the winning penalty. He went off to celebrate in front of the Argentina fans, and very few of his teammates went with him. Majority stayed to hug Messi, and a load of them went to Emiliano Martinez as well.
Yeah, and he was probably thinking, where are my teammates? Why am I so unpopular after showing that courage? It was a brilliant penalty. I mean, the pressure absolutely on. But, I mean, what a game, what an ending to the game. Did Argentina deserve it? I think they did over the whole piece, but you just keep going back to that Martinez save in extra time. When it went to penalties, you fancy Martinez over Lloris, but they got the job done, didn't they? Didn't start this World Cup in great form, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And great celebrations. They've had the best fans at the World Cup. This stadium must be 80% full of Argentinian fans, and the celebrations, I mean, these will go on deep into the night.
And again, it would be amazing if we could hear those Argentina fans properly over the PA system, but they're blaring out the celebration music, and those fans are doing their best to create all this atmosphere. Rob, it was almost like a Hogarth painting at the final whistle, because it was just people spilling everywhere. People were on their knees, they were crouched, they were hugging, they were falling over. It was absolute chaos on both sides, and the France players sort of on the right-hand side of the pitch as we look at it, but the Argentina players down there, it was Leandro Martinez just on his knees, hunched on his own, waiting for somebody to go over to him. As Chapper said, nobody knew what to do, but now they do, and now they're over celebrating with that hardcore of Argentina fans who are behind the goal, where the ultras, who in domestic football are like oil and water, are standing next to each other. They're standing on top of the barriers, they're arm in arm, and they're celebrating with Argentina. This feels like a win that means much more than just supporting the players. This feels like it matters.
It was such a roller coaster. That's why, and everyone's emotionally and physically completely shattered from the game, and they were all just so discombobulated as a team that they just had to do their own thing at their own moment, and it manifested itself in this chaotic scene, which was brilliant. But you think about the pressure from the start of the tournament on one player in particular, but throughout that team who had to provide for him, and how they must have felt throughout the tournament building up to it, and then to finally get there and get that moment for him is just overwhelming for everybody involved with Argentinian football.
Amazing scenes out there at the moment with Scaloni, and I'm guessing his family, and they're in tears and he's hugging them, and then Messi and Di Maria, who have been through so much together at international level, suffered so many times, and are now being victorious. Won't surprise you to learn, by the way, that as I was doing that on the big screen, they've given the player of the match. Guess who they gave that to? Well, you can see it, Chris. I mean that's a rubbish quiz. They're giving it to Lionel Messi. I mean, any one of Argentina's midfielders could really have claim to take the player of the match, but it's gone to Messi. But you look at the bonds that have been created through this team and these players, and there will also, Chris, there must be a sense of relief amongst them that they have managed to deliver it for the man who has won player of the match. They have been playing under that pressure.
Yes, absolutely, and losing the first game. We can't lavish enough praise on the manager as well. When he took over, it was a job nobody really wanted. Went out in the last 16 at the last World Cup in Russia, and huge pressure taking over a job of such magnitude. But he's found a way, and so have this Argentinian team throughout this World Cup. It's been little moments, magical moments, and then today you just wondered, they get themselves in front, they let it slip badly, as they did against the Netherlands. They got over the line that night, but then once Mbappe gets it 3-3, you're thinking, maybe this could go against Argentina, but it's job done. And I think most people around the world, would feel that it is. I mean, Rob's words were great. This is a fitting end for Lionel Messi, who has been one of the world's very best, if not the best. That's a debate which we can have for another day, but it does seem fitting, it does seem right that he leaves with winning the big one.
question that Mbappe now, does that count as scoring 4 in a final and still losing?
In a penalty shootout, you don't get it. You don't get the fourth with the penalty shootout. But yeah, he'll take home the golden boot in whatever form that comes. But I will imagine it'll be scant consolation because Argentina have won the World Cup and the celebrations continue down there. Our South American football correspondent Tim Vickery joins us now. Tim, when we look at the scenes of celebration, anybody's going to enjoy winning the World Cup. But this Argentina story has been a long time building to this moment. It felt like the last chance. It is the last chance for Lionel Messi, and it is the last chance for those players to do it for Messi as well.
Yeah, if the story has to end, unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to him. Let it end like this. I have some breaking news. December the 18th has just been announced as the official day of the Argentine cardiologist. What a day they've just had. It was a horrible way to end the game, isn't it? I hate the penalty shootout. It individualises a collective sport. It only ends because there are villains. Someone has to fail. But I thought it was an awful way to get what on the day was the right result. We wondered about the team selection before, and Scaloni, with his team selection, what he said was, my team is more important than the opposition. I'm not gonna go with the 3 centre-backs and wait on the basis that their team is more important than mine. I'm going to prove that our team is more important. And it worked wonderfully well, didn't it, while Di Maria was on the field. They played the 3 across the front. It was very bold there with Alvarez between Messi and Di Maria wide left. They gave France problems playing out. They outnumbered France in midfield. They amplified the space that the French midfield had to cover. It was the first time that Griezmann as a midfielder became a problem. Argentina made Griezmann as a midfielder a problem, and while Di Maria was on the field, and has there ever been a world-class player with less ego than Di Maria? Whatever you need him to do, he does. He hasn't got a set role. If you want him to play wide right, if you want him to play wide left, if you want him to play him in a midfield 3, he'll do that. Fantastic performance from him, but once he went off, the game started to change, and you wonder, because every time the Argentina defensive unit has been really placed under pressure, it's almost as if the presence of the fans in the stadium becomes an inhibiting factor. They're all having a collective nervous breakdown. The fans are making the players nervous, the players are making the fans nervous, and as soon as France got 1, you thought they're going to get 2 here. And anything could have happened in the crazy last few minutes of normal time. Argentina, I thought, rallied really, really well in extra time, but it could have gone against them right at the last. But I think in a horrible way, we've had the right result.
They're still building the stage here in Lusail. It's taken them a long time to do that. The Argentina players don't mind. They are celebrating with their fans whilst a few of them do interviews for television. There's a great big drum on the pitch as well that one of the backroom staff is beating at the moment as they dance and sing in front of their fans. Julien Laurent has come up to join us as well. I feel like I ought to give you a hug, but then that might make it worse, really. I don't know for you. There will be just a sense of what if for France, really, on various different levels over the course of that game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they showed great character to come back, not just once, but twice. 3-2 in extra time, I thought all of us thought it was over, and then Kylian still manages to find a way of scoring the other penalty. I mean, I think it's cruel to lose like this, of course, and everybody in France would be heartbroken. The players crying on the bench right now. We saw Matteo Guendouzi with Kylian Mbappe. My own children crying as well at home, which is normal, I guess, because you were so close, and yet just for a couple of penalties, 2 really good saves, well, 1 really good save and 1 miss, and they will learn a lot from it. And I don't know who will be there in Germany at the Euros, who will be there in the next World Cup in that squad, but this should also be like a big learning curve.
Macron is actually, or has been, down on the field trying to console Kylian Mbappe as well. I go back to Euro 96 with England, and honestly, they show that Gaza chance right at the end where he just misses his toe and it goes to penalties. I sense in France you will see Kolo Muani's header and actually his chance later on as well, over and over and over again for the next years. And Kolo Muani will wake up, I would imagine, in his sleep, seeing certainly both of those chances.
Yeah, you're right. For such a young player, I mean, he will have to deal with it, of course, and not that he will be blamed for it, but it's a huge chance right at the end. It's an amazing save. He could have done it differently, but it's not. I mean, Chris is looking at me with big eyes.
No, I think with the header, he was a little bit unlucky. I don't know whether the ball was too far. It was all a blur. I'd love to see that again. I think that the chance at the end, he just rushed his shot. He could have actually composed himself and lifted it, because Martinez had just committed and was flying out, and he went low, didn't he?
Yeah.
He could have actually lifted it. Look, it's easy to say.
No, you're right.
Sitting up here, but that's one that he will not forget.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it's a situation where your best players are on the bench as well. Giroud and Griezmann, and it's the kids, Thuram, Colomwani. Coman is not so much of a kid, but Fofana, Tchouaméni in midfield, who've carried you out of this incredible poor first hour, and it's incredible. They deserve credit. It's sad to lose that way. It's very cruel, but you have to give credit to Messi and Argentina as well, because they were still fantastic and probably the better side overall over the whole 120 minutes.
The huge cheer is because Lionel Messi has been out with a microphone in the middle of the pitch addressing the Argentina supporters, and the cheer was just because he spoke, not because they could hear a word of what he was saying, but he ended with a huge vamos. I don't know if it's coming through, but they are chanting Messi's name, every single one of them chanting for Lionel Messi. They're making the kind of "we're not worthy" arms as he kind of makes his way around the pitch and shows his appreciation for the supporters as well. But it's hard to convey, because we're trying to fight with this kind of canned music. It's hard to convey just how much noise and how much emotion is coming out of those Argentina fans. But the fact that Messi came out and spoke to them and presumably said his goodbyes, this will be his final game, he has said, in an Argentina shirt. He's changed his name before, but why not go out on the high of winning the World Cup?
I mean, I'm not sure they could hear him either, really. Just the fact that he had the microphone and was on the big screen was enough to send them cheering. There are kids in that crowd with the fake, or at least I hope that's the fake World Cup, otherwise they managed to nick that from somewhere, with the fake World Cup at the front of the crowd. The ultras, the Argentina ultras, who have been there since 2 hours before kickoff, and they don't sit in their seats, they don't even stand in front of their seats. The front row, and Mike has joined us as well, the front row actually stand on the wall, basically, between the pitch and the seats, and they have been there from 2 hours before the game all the way through the 90 minutes. They might have sat down for 10 minutes when it got a little bit scary towards the end of the second half, just for a breather. But the scenes are like nothing we have seen before.
No, they've been absolutely fantastic. I mean, where you guys were sitting, I was actually sitting to the right of you, and there was about, I don't know, 100 Argentinian fans just in front of me, and the noise and the support that they gave was amazing. But these ultras just behind the goal, they've been fantastic. I can only compare it to the Morocco fans. They were brilliant too, but these have been here for hours, and they've really made the atmosphere in the game, and this is what we come here to say. And I know it's probably been said loads of times already, but that is the best game of football I have ever seen, ever. Undoubtedly. I was honestly, my emotions were like a wreck. I was up, I was down. 1 minute I was a Kylian Mbappe fan, then I was a Messi fan, and it was just a great game of football. Wow.
It was a fantastic game of football, but in the end, there had to be a winner. Only one team are going to go and lift the World Cup at the end of all of this, and it went down to penalties. It swung each way. At the beginning, Argentina 2-0 up. They looked like they were coasting. On 80 minutes, Kylian Mbappe got a penalty to bring it back to 2-1. Then a fantastic finish to make it 2-2. It goes into extra time. Lionel Messi, of course, with a goal that we looked at it with VAR to see whether or not it was offside. He was given onside. Was that it? But with 10 minutes to go of extra time, Kylian Mbappe again brought France level with a penalty, and that took it to penalties. The winning penalty for Argentina was scored by Gonzalo Montiel. This is how it sounded in Argentina.
Hacelo, por favor, Montiel le pegó. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Argentina, gol. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo.
Tim, do they have fishermen's friends in Argentina?
Yeah, and he's going to be gargling with pebbles for a fair while, I think, tomorrow. That one, isn't he? But isn't there some beautiful poetry in the fact that the fellow who takes the decisive kick is probably the least glamorous one on the field? You know, Gonzalo Montiel, he's the reserve right back, and it just highlights that this is a collective sport. So I think it's lovely poetry in that. It could have been Messi, no, but Messi's out there taking the first one. And it's the least glamorous player who puts it in and confirms the triumph for Argentina, which I think sends out a lovely message. But it's never just about one player. No, the basic rule of football is that the star shines when the team is right. And Argentina, after that desperately shocking opening day defeat to Saudi Arabia, they've had to put things right. They've had to tinker here, they've had to tinker there, and Messi has had a supporting cast in his last World Cup which is worthy of him, and the last dance has been the best dance. I'm so sorry that the story has to end, but let it end this way.
The last time he was in a World Cup final, Pablo Zabaleta was one of his teammates. He's been part of our coverage throughout the World Cup on BBC Radio and BBC Television. He's been in the studio with Gary Lineker this afternoon. Once the penalties had taken place, Gary asked him how he was feeling.
Pablo, can you speak?
Oh, no.
Tell me what this means to Argentina.
I mean, it's one of those moments, sorry.
That's okay.
I was just looking at Messi and I know what it means.
I feel the same when I'm Argentinian.
It's just well done to France and Mbappe. I mean, thank you for everybody for that great game, but a perfect story for Messi as well and everybody. I mean, we really enjoy it. Like the guys say, I'm so pleased and so happy to be here and enjoy again like that.
I know you're emotional and quite rightly so. So are all those people in there. Tell us what it will mean to Lionel Messi, someone that you know very well.
I mean, I've been part of that team, the youth team, when he came for the first time to play for the national team, and you know he came to represent his country and the passion and the respect that he always shown for our country is something that we always need to appreciate. You know?
It's not that long ago, of course, he retired from international football because of the defeat in the Copa America, the third one that they had in the final. He was distraught, he couldn't handle it anymore, but he's come back now. He's won not only the Copa America, but now the greatest prize of them all.
Absolutely, and he deserved it, 100%. Look, everyone is just crying and giving a big hug, Pablo Mar and everybody, because you know, he's one of those players who really deserve it. So, well done.
That was Pablo Zabaleta speaking just after Argentina scored that winning penalty in the shootout to win the World Cup. Tim Vickery is still with us. Tim, there was a really emotional response from Pablo Zabaleta there, and it's been a really emotional tournament all round for Argentina. Just try and give us some context to that, starting with it being the first World Cup that Diego Maradona wasn't around for, the shadow, if you like, that he casts, or the light that he shines on this Argentina team. The fact that it is Messi's last tournament, probably Messi's last ever game, that there have been people like Pablo Zabaleta and teammates throughout the years who've tried to deliver this for Leo Messi, and that finally, at the last possible moment, they've been able to do it. And we can hear the Muchachos song, which brings all of that into context.
That's it. Yeah, that's stolen my line. They're singing it for you. No, they're singing about all those finals that we lost and all those years that I cried, but now it's all over. That's because they won the Copa America last year, and I don't think they'd have won this World Cup had they not won the Copa America last year. That took some of the responsibility off. It made the atmosphere a little bit lighter, because that was their first senior title since 1993. It's 28 years, and when you have as many Copa Americas as South America does, and Argentina are one of the big two, you expect to win titles much more frequently than that. But they felt jinxed. I mean, Messi, when he retired briefly in 2016 from international football, he said that it was because that he was feeling jinxed, and that there's lots of players who are part of this process. Zabaleta is one, and I remember, I've told you this many times, but seeing Messi for the first time wearing a shirt of Argentina when he was a 17-year-old in the South American Under-20 Championship, start of 2005. Pablo Zabaleta was in that side, playing on the right side of midfield. He's been part of the process. Messi's old mate, Sergio Aguero, who's on the pitch now, he's been part of the process. Many of them, they couldn't quite get over the line. This generation have got over the line. It's the best team in a collective sense that Messi has been part of in Argentina. He's joined the group have joined him. He's surrounded by his disciples, if you like, and they've brought the trophy home.
The stadium has been plunged into darkness as they start the process of the World Cup trophy presentation. There are various awards that get handed out beforehand. Obviously the French players have to pick up their runners-up medals as well. It's going to be a fairly lengthy process, is this. It's actually been brutal, Jules, for the French players for the last 5-10 minutes or so. They've come back out onto the field, and because of the way this is being staged, they've been put very, very close to the celebrating Argentina players.
Yeah, I think it's probably even worse than actually losing the game, because now they're all standing there. They're clearly in front of them, like, I don't know, 10 yards out, the Argentine players celebrating with their families. You see the children running around, the wives, the parents, all the photographers are not far, and then they have to stand there, clearly miserable, of course, just waiting for their turn to go and get a medal that they don't want, and still thinking about the chances that they missed, the penalties that they missed. It's cruel, we said it, it's brutal, that there can only be one winner, and when you lose that way, and I was there in 06 as well when they lost on penalties, in a very, very different game, of course, no roller coasters of emotion, but the Zidane red cards, and that hurts.
Jules, you said last night, in a way, you could win both ways, because either you get to see France win the World Cup, or you're there for Lionel Messi winning the World Cup in his last ever game. That's how you felt last night. It might even be how you felt on 79 minutes. But once France got back into that game, once there was a taste of it, is that when it changed?
It changed completely, Kelly. You're right. You're so right. I mean, this is history that we're witnessing. We're very lucky, all of us here from 5 Live and all the people, the 80,000 people in the stadium, to see this happening and to see Messi lifting this trophy. Of course, this is something very, very special, very emotional, but I'm gutted, I won't lie. And at 2-0, we said at halftime there will be no party for the French, and then we believed again. And this team is wonderful. And what we said last night is that they went all this way by cutting the emotions off of all their games. And today, of all games, the roller coaster of emotions that they went through was just a bit too much, and they just couldn't do that because Argentina were great, because it's a final, it's the World Cup. And in the end, I think the penalties were too much. And I could have told you before that Martinez, who is the master of mind games, of trash talking, we saw it. Even the referee didn't really know what to do with him. But this is part of the game, and I knew there would be only one winner. And in a way, as I think Rob or Chris was saying, it's fitting that it's Leo Messi for everything he's done for this game.
Is it part of the game, Rob Green, what Martinez was doing at the end?
He pushed it to the limit, didn't he? He got booked, and he should have been booked before that. So he was going to go until he got booked, and I think if the referee was on it a bit more, could have done it earlier. But that's the game, and that's part of it. And Chris pointed out, just give them time to think, and that they will make a mistake, and that's all you have as a goalkeeper. Because if they hit a penalty well, you're not going to save it. So you need them to make an error.
Your guess is as good as mine what's going on down here at the moment, because the plane service is plunged into darkness, bar the stage, big white stage. The medals have just been carried on. The sort of mixed reaction you may have heard was Gianni Infantino leading out the presentation party. I'm sure in the middle of that are some of the ruling members of the Qatari family as well. President Macron is involved in that party too. John Murray, maybe we should, or Ian Dennis, one of you, maybe we should have had this discussion before we came on air. How are we doing this?
John will do the ceremony, but just to quickly say, this has been a record World Cup. The 6 goals here today, we've now witnessed more goals than any other World Cup, 172 here in Qatar. It was previously Brazil 2014 and France 98, where they'd witnessed a joint record of 171. So we've had the biggest attendance for a final since 94 and a record number of goals out here in Qatar in the last 29 days.
Which, Micah, is quite surprising, because towards the end of the group stages, we thought we were close to getting a record number of 0-0 draws in this tournament.
That's just the games we were working on.
Yeah, maybe it was, yeah.
Don't know what you were watching, I had a lovely time.
Go on, Mark and Micah, go and do the TV one that Gary doesn't want to do. That was it, wasn't it? Oh, it's another 0-0.
But look, as Deno said, it has now been a record goal-scoring World Cup. It has been a World Cup in which Lionel Messi is going to very shortly be able to lift the trophy. Kylian Mbappe getting to the final. We've seen stars like Neymar. We've seen someone like Cristiano Ronaldo almost certainly bring his international career to an end. We saw it with Robert Lewandowski almost certainly bringing his international career to an end. There have been huge moments in this, Deno, in this World Cup, and it's been significant in many ways, and for individuals as well as teams.
Very much so. Obviously, the first African side to reach the last four. Huge for Morocco. First time ever in a World Cup that all 5 nations from Africa have won at least one game. I think the first time since 2002 that you've had 3 different sides from different kind of confederations reaching the semi-finals. And obviously, moving forward, the format is going to change when we go to Mexico, Canada and the United States in 4 years' time. But for Argentina to get their first trophy since 36 years old, I just think as well the final, just a great final, wasn't it? Just pure entertainment, drama. It had everything, and it's going to live long in the memory.
It is difficult to think of a better final, John Murray, isn't it?
It is. I think there have been some goal-packed finals over the years, some one-sided finals. And as I mentioned during the commentary, actually there was this period we went through where there were some pretty turgid ones as well, time after time. But this will go down. This will go down as an absolute classic. You're probably looking back to 1970, in terms of great World Cup finals. That famous, the Brazilian win and Carlos Alberto's goal. But this is right up there.
So how they... France 4, Croatia 2 in 2018, 6 goals. Was the most since 1958 when Brazil beat Sweden 5-2, and we've just had another 6 goals here.
So what they do now here on the stage is they're going to present all the individual awards, then we'll get the runners-up medals, and then we will get Argentina getting their medals, and finally at the end of all of that, Lionel Messi will lift the World Cup trophy. So the first award has just been handed out, and that's the FIFA Young Player Award, and that has gone to, you can hear the Argentine fans saying Enzo. So that has gone to Enzo Fernandez, who, let's not forget, Chris, didn't actually start that first game, did he, against Saudi Arabia?
No, that's right. And then he came on in the second game against Mexico and scored that wonderful goal from just inside just the corner of the 18-yard box, fired it into the far top corner. And then he's been an ever-present ever since played the next game against Poland, and he's been really important. Scaloni thinking on his feet, didn't start the competition, but he's been a really big player for the Argentinian team, playing in that pivot role, screening the back line, the Argentinian back line, who have been superb all tournament. I get why he's won that award. It's hard to think of other candidates right now. It's been that sort of afternoon and evening. But, he has been top draw, hasn't he?
The Golden Glove Award, Rob Green, goes to Emi Martinez, and it could have been given to him just for his penalty shootout exploits, but it's not. It's about keeping the most clean sheets, conceding the fewest goals across this tournament.
Yeah, and it's been interesting, hasn't it? Chris pointed it out. We've had a look at the amount of saves he's actually made, and it's not many. They have been crucial saves. One at the end of this game, one against Australia as well, when it was tight, when it was 2-1 in injury time, and then the penalty saves as well. So you look at it, we're all going to talk about the great man Messi and the team that's been built around it, but he's played a huge part of the success.
And this is hard next. The Golden Boot Award goes to Kylian Mbappe, who has to go up on his own with all the disappointment of losing the World Cup final. Despite scoring a hat-trick, he has to talk to all the dignitaries. President Macron gives him the Golden Boot. There are a few whistles and then they turn to cheers, because as we keep saying, this is a mostly Argentina crowd. Jules?
Yeah, I mean, he won't be happy with that, because that's not really the trophy. That's the trophy he wanted, but not the only one. And I think you could see with his body language, still 3 goals in a World Cup final. The only player to do that was Sergio Hurst, of course, in '66. He's got 4 goals in World Cup finals, more than anybody else now. More than Pelé, more than Diego, more than Leo, more than all the greatest of all time. So for him, he's been a very good World Cup, but he will obviously be disappointed. I love the fact that he took the first penalty, because remember at the Euros 18 months ago against Switzerland, he waited to be the 5th one. He took it, he missed it, and we were knocked out. This time he went first, like Messi, because that's the way it should be. And he scored 4 goals, as John was saying earlier. It doesn't count, or Deno, it doesn't really count as a 4th goal, but still, I mean, he's still a fantastic player.
So Jeff Hurst has said many congratulations to Mbappe. Whatever happens, had a great run, but this noise is for the Golden Ball Award.
الفائز بجائزة كرة أديداس الذهبية هو اللاعب رقم 10 ليونيل ميسي المنتخب الأرجنتيني.
He's on the stage now, is Lionel Messi, and once again he's going past all the dignitaries. He has the Golden Ball Award for the tournament's best player. John, you were going to say?
Going to say Mbappe looked as though he'd rather be anywhere else than on the stage there. He had to walk past the World Cup itself, and he could barely look at it. He gave it a quick glance and then just looked straight on past it. And he looked as though he could not be less interested in the Golden Boot Award.
Oh, by contrast, Lionel Messi has just, smiling with his individual award, has just walked past the World Cup, given a little rub at the top and kissed it.
And
a taste of what's to come.
That had the look of, I'll see you later.
John Murray.
Oh dear.
Taken a turn.
It has, hasn't it, really? Feels slightly uncomfortable. Messi stands further down the stage and takes the acclaim of the crowd. It is very harsh, because what they're making them do as well, and it's fine for Messi and it's fine for Emi Martinez and also for Enzo Fernandez as well, but for Kylian Mbappe, not only did he have to walk past the World Cup, he then had to keep going, and he then had to stand on his own with the Golden Boot for a photo. And now they are. I mean, I know this is what happens, but now they've made him come back onto the stage with Emi Martinez and Lionel Messi. Enzo Fernandez didn't know he had to go back on the stage, so they had their photos. Then they called Mbappe back because Fernandez wasn't there. And the 3 Argentina players are smiling, and there is a grimace, shall we say, on Kylian Mbappe's face. And you would have to have a heart of stone not to feel sorry for him there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chappers, and I mean, there was no way he was going to smile. I know him too well for that photo, and it's not a photo he's going to keep anywhere near his house either. It's one that he will have to learn from, of course, because for 70 minutes in this game, he was not in the game either. So, again, loads of things to learn from the French point of view, and then you just have to accept the defeat with class, because that's why it should be, despite the cruel end of the game.
And then also in the darkness, there was an easy way back for him to get back to his French teammates. And now they're making them walk the longest way back round the stage. He's going to have to walk past the celebrating Argentina players. And in fact, he's going to have to then go and join the back. He's going to have to hurry up to join the back of the French players who are now going through a guard of honour.
Sorry, I know you can see exactly what I can see there. I wasn't sure if you'd missed it.
The ridiculous thing is, you're long-sighted, so you needed your glasses on.
Didn't have them on.
They're there, and you still saw it. And I've got my glasses on for being short-sighted. So a right mess at the moment. I can see distance, but I can't see any notes in front of me.
Hear no evil, see no evil.
And the French.
Mark, I've got to say, the guard of honour, that's not for me. If I'm Tchouameni walking past Martinez, you know, after what happened in the penalty shootout, where Martinez has lobbed the ball away. I wouldn't really want to be walking past him.
Okay, but at the end of it, you have to. The final whistle has gone, and you have to respect each other, don't you? So what? So what would you have done if you were Tchouaméni and that was that card?
I just really wouldn't have enjoyed walking past Martinez after what he did. You know, he lobbed the ball away. I mean, it's okay. So they have to be sporting then, but big moment that.
Okay, you wouldn't have to look at him. You could just keep your head down.
Yeah. Jules, as the France team do make their way onto the stage and they collect those medals that, as you said earlier, they really don't want. They're going to pick them up. They're barely going to look at them, most of them, and they're going to go, I don't know, into a pocket or somewhere. You imagine they'll be posting them back to them after this because they might not even take them out of the dressing room. It's happened before. But you already, earlier on, were looking ahead to the next tournament, to the Euros in Germany, to the next World Cup in America and Canada and Mexico, because there are so many young players in this France squad. This doesn't feel like their last chance to win a major trophy.
No, you're right, because the future is bright for this generation. The next one, as we were saying yesterday on the preview, is pretty good as well, and Tchouaméni will become a better player for tonight. Of course he will, and so will Fofana, and so will Upamecano, and so will Camavinga in that left back position, and Kylian as well. Of course he will, and as much as he will hurt now and for the next 10 days while they're on holidays or a week or so, then they will have to move on, and the best way of moving on is to go into the Germany Euros in 2024 with big ambitions. And I mean, if you look at when they won in 98, for example, the 96 Euros in England, they lost that semi-final on penalties against the Czech. In 2018, they had that final they lost in 2016 at the Euros against Portugal in extra time. Very often, not just the French, but in general, I mean, we talked about Messi, who lost that final 8 years ago against Germany. Very often you learn from those defeats, from those heartbreaks, and it's the same for England, we were mentioning the other day. And then it comes into you learn from it, and you come back stronger after, and that's what they will have to do. As much as it must be horrible for them to have to watch the Argentine, because that's what you have to do now. They're going to walk down the stage, but still stay here on the pitch and wait for Messi to lift the trophy.
They've all collected their medals and they're all walking down the stairs, and so we are left with one ceremony to perform for Argentina to be crowned the world champions, winning the World Cup here in Qatar 2022, and their captain Lionel Messi will finally get his hands on that gold trophy. To talk you through this final historic ceremony at this World Cup, John Murray.
Well, I think here at Qatar 2022 they've taken post-match presentations to a new level. The stage is actually the figure of 8 logo of this World Cup, so it is there in white. It's lit up by spotlights and floodlights. I think the fireworks are in place as well, and one by one the Argentina squad are going to be called up to receive their medals before the trophy is presented. So this is the process really of cementing what will be that third star above the badge on the famous blue and white shirts. And one by one the Argentina players are coming up and receiving their medals. It's the FIFA president Gianni Infantino who is at the head of the line of dignitaries. The Emir of the State of Qatar is there as well, His Highness Sheikh Tamim, and Emmanuel Macron, the French president, is next in line, and so it goes on. Alexander Cheferin of UEFA is up there as well. And there's Alexis McAllister of Brighton and Hove Albion as well, the first Brighton and Hove Albion player to appear in a World Cup final. And what a match he had before he was eventually substituted. The goalkeeper, the first Aston Villa player to appear in a World Cup final, is there moving along the line. And I can see in the shadows, in the darkness, I can see Lionel Messi waiting as the last man to walk onto the stage. 2 goals in the World Cup final. What a way to see out his World Cup career on the day he became the first man to make 26 appearances at World Cup finals tournaments. So here comes the coach now, Lionel Scaloni, with an Argentina flag around his neck. What a moment for him. He was the assistant coach to Georges Sampaoli 4 years ago when it ended at the hands of France in the last 16, and the assistant took the job in the end, eventually succeeded him. It was felt he was the cheap option. And Scaloni moves down the line and leaves the way clear for Lionel Messi. What a moment this is. I think when we all came here today, we felt that there would be a great story to end this World Cup final, but we didn't know quite how dramatic and exciting it would be. And now, Lionel Messi walks forward. Lionel Messi just waiting for the nod. His Highness, the Emir, is now moving across with Gianni Infantino on either side of him. They're actually putting a golden cloak around his shoulders, and they're putting his hands through the arms of that cloak, and he looks a little bit bewildered by what they're doing to him there. And it is Gianni Infantino who will pick up the World Cup. The World Cup, that great gleaming golden trophy that was handed to Daniel Passarella in Buenos Aires in 1978. In 1986, that golden trophy was handed to Diego Maradona. And now, 36 years on, it is now being placed in the hands of Lionel Messi. And he receives it, and he smiles, and he kisses it, and he cradles it in his arms, and he kisses it again. And now he takes little steps, little Lionel Messi steps, with the World Cup in his hands, and he walks into the centre of all of his younger muchachos, and he lifts the World Cup, and Argentina are the winners, and Lionel Messi and his team will take the trophy back to Buenos Aires and to Argentina. And what we've witnessed here today, what we are seeing here now at this Christmas World Cup, proves that dreams do come true. What a night, what an occasion. And after all of the reservations and worries about this World Cup, many of which were very well-founded concerns and reservations, it's ended with a night to remember, and Argentina as the World Cup winners.
A night to remember for Argentina, a night to remember for Lionel Messi, who hasn't let go of that trophy yet. Only now is it past to Angel Di Maria to look at, but for 30 seconds after he joined his teammates, he was holding on to that World Cup and he wasn't letting it go. And I am guessing, Tim Vickery, I know you're not there, but in Argentina there will not be a dry eye.
Certainly won't be, certainly won't be. You know, tournament football, there are two elements to it. One is that time speeded up. Teams suddenly change, they suddenly come together. Like Enzo Fernandez coming into the side during the course of the tournament. Now you can't imagine Argentina without him. But they're also process. And this process started Copa America 2019 in Brazil, when Messi had clearly decided Argentina, the Argentine national team, was gonna be his #1 priority. What did he have to do to make it right? He had to be different with the players. He had to be more vocal, more encouraging. He had to be the leader. And he's been supported by almost a group of disciples here who've wanted to make him happy. And here he is, Lionel Messi in his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, holding the World Cup aloft, leaving the stage with fear. I never wanted this moment to happen, but if it has to happen, let it be this way.
It is quite an extraordinary sort of black net curtain edged in gold that Lionel Messi has been coerced into wearing, but he won't care. All he will care about is what he has in his hands. And Tim, in the domestic game, Lionel Messi had won everything. And what's been fascinating about his time with Argentina is that it took, as an Argentina international, it took him, for want of a better phrase, to discover his inner outhouse in order to be able to get success.
Oh, they loved that when he was swearing at Van Gaal and the Dutch players after. They absolutely loved it. It was like almost like definitive proof. You know what? He's one of us. He's not a Catalan anymore. And I think even this is calculated, you know. Even the vocabulary that he uses. I think he really is. He sat down and thought, what do I have to do? How can I become more Argentine? And he's in that quiet, self-contained, methodical way. He's gone about everything he needed to do, surrounded by, as I say, this group of disciples. And I just think it's beautiful poetry that the least glamorous player in the squad, the reserve right back Montiel, is the one whose kick will always be remembered as clinching the 2022 World Cup.
And in the middle of there at the moment is Sergio Aguero, who has put on a number 19. I think he had a 19 shirt on. Did he take a spare Otamendi shirt? I don't know, but he had a 19 shirt on, and he's raised it as well, because, you know, this is a squad, this is a backroom staff, Tim, that very much relies on former players, former internationals. There are several of them there, and Pablo Zabaleta was telling us pre-match how much this has helped this current squad.
No doubt about it, but the Aguero thing is interesting because when Scaloni took over 4 years ago, he didn't want to pick Aguero, and Aguero was flying at the time with Man City. That was because there was a feeling that Messi only ever talked to his old mate Aguero, so it was a way of trying to force him to be more outgoing and talk to other people. So that there was that problem that was identified. If Messi doesn't, imagine if you're a young player called up to the Argentine national squad. All you want to do in training is win his respect. And if he doesn't talk to you, if you don't know where you stand with him, maybe he doesn't rate me. That was having an inhibiting effect on the younger players. So Messi has changed his behaviour. And Aguero there is representing not only himself, but Aguero is representing all of those players like Pablo Zabaleta, who have been part of the Messi years and who couldn't quite get their hands on the silverware. I think that's something that's beautiful to see.
Tim, a word on the future for Argentina, because there were times during this tournament that we've seen what that might look like without Lionel Messi, both in terms of the way that they will play going forward and in terms of the people that might take on that mantle.
Yeah, that link up between Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez, former club mates at River Plate, that looks very, very important indeed. And there are some good players coming through. Perhaps defence is a little bit of a worry, and it won't be the same. It can't be the same. It wasn't the same without Diego Maradona. They were always trying to get him to come back, even when he really shouldn't have come back. And he got himself in problems in the World Cup '94 because of that. They were always looking for the saviour. Well, now, once Messi has gone, he's gone. You've got to look beyond him. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be what we enjoy today. But there's no reason to despair. And this group, I think, will have gained considerable self-esteem from the fact that they had to dig so deep and a number of times during the championship to get themselves over the line. So it's not going to be anything like as beautiful, as global as it is with Messi, because even here in Brazil, I think more people were supporting Argentina than supporting France, and that's extraordinary, and a lot of that is down to Messi. It's not going to be like this again, but it's not going to be a disaster.
Tim Vickery, for the final time for this World Cup, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure as Lionel Messi brings his children onto the pitch here at the Lusail Stadium to celebrate becoming a world champion. And in fact, talked earlier about Sergio Aguero's shirt, whether it had Otamendi's number 19 on or not, doesn't matter anymore. They are now all wearing Argentina shirts with Campeones del Mundo on the back of it. They are the world champions.
We have about 5 minutes left. Jules is still here. John, Ian, Rob, Chris, just a final thought from you, Jules, on this whole experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great once again to be with that French team, to be with them every day, to follow them. You feel part of the adventure, of course, and then that's why it hurts so much as well, because it's hard to detach yourself from being part of it in a way. But they've done the country proud, a country that was full of skepticism when we flew over here a squad that lost so many talented players, so many of them missing, so many starters as well, and yet to reach this height and go that far was amazing, to show the heart and the character that they showed, for Kylian Mbappe to score 3 goals in this final. But it was written in the stars somewhere that this was always going to be Leo Messi's World Cup, and it happened.
Thank you for everything you've done with us
Thank you
over
so
the
much
course
for
of the
having
last
me.
4 weeks. We will talk again soon, of course we will.
Definitely.
Jules, thank you. Julien
Thank you
Laurent
so
with us. Rob, let me start with you. What, as far as the football is concerned, what has stood out for you?
I think for me it's been a real lesson of keeping the group of 4 in the group stages. There's talk of it losing it for the next tournament, going back to a 3. I don't think that works. I think every group stage had something on it by the end, and I think that was brilliant as a spectacle. And then from there, just the stories that have come from it, individual teams, the history that's been made, and the entertainment that's been there. We've had World Cups that have had stodgy games, defensive games, and we've gone into these games going, oh, this could be cagey, but it wasn't. It was anything but. So it's been a brilliant experience, and it's been brilliant to work with everyone here, and yeah, what a great 4 weeks.
Yeah, been great to work with you too, Rob. Is that what you were fishing for there?
Yes, there was a
yes,
long
Rob, it's been great to work with
silence.
you. Sorry, been great.
Thanks, chappers. Yep, there was a long silence there.
And also, that must be sincere, because you said it's sitting next to Ian Dennis. Deno, thoughts on the tournament?
Well, the football has been terrific, capped by an incredibly dramatic, wonderful, remarkable final, thrilling. But I think the other thing is as well is that logistically, I wondered how they were going to pull it off when you had 8 stadiums in the space of, I think, something like 46 miles. And logistically, they have pulled it off. So the debate will go on about Qatar's legacy and all the issues that surrounded it coming into the tournament. But I do think that they have pulled it off very, very well, with 64 games in such a close proximity, and we've had a record World Cup with the amount of goals. So yeah, that was what I would say.
It's a World Cup in a city, and that's never happened before, and there were, as you say, there were huge doubts about that, and it may be something that they look at again, because it has changed the atmosphere of a World Cup.
You know, a Winter World Cup has caused a number of problems with the schedule and the calendar and what have you, and it has been, in Pep Guardiola's words, this is an insane season. Qatar, I think, will now look towards the Olympics, but I think what they've shown with this World Cup is that logistically they can certainly pull that off.
John Murray, the football has been great. The best match was probably saved till last, actually, of memorable games. This has probably been the most memorable. I still think we should always ask the question, and we have asked this before when leaving South Africa, when leaving Brazil, when leaving Russia. What happens when the World Cup party leaves? And that is as relevant and as important now as it has ever been.
Well, maybe what's happened here over the course of the last 4 weeks has actually changed the opinion and made people who live here think about things and how life is, how the world works, etc., etc. I think it's been a fascinating month, and I don't know about you all, but I do feel conflicting emotions about what we've experienced over the course of the last month. Some things here have been great. You know, really much better than expected when we came here with some trepidation. But you still have those reservations, and everything that was said in the build-up to this, you know, our superb sports news team at the BBC and all of the other journalists who worked and have asked questions about this World Cup, all of that still applies. All of that applies. And, you know, I point people towards there's a special BBC Sports Desk podcast at the moment, which is all about how this World Cup will be remembered, what the legacy will be. And as Ian says, you know, those questions remain, and that debate must continue. You know, and the light has to continue to be shone here as well. But you know, in a footballing sense, there've been some brilliant memories, brilliant experiences, and you know, it's not been quite what we expected at all. And I think, as you say, Mark, it'll be very interesting, I think, as time goes by, to see how we look back and think of this World Cup.